Out of 117 high school football teams that play in the WPIAL, one of the smallest is in a town called Coriopolis, Pennsylvania, home of the Cornell Raiders. Tonight, they steal the spotlight on our showcase game of the week against the Bishop Canevin Crusaders. It's the Steel City High School Football Showcase coming up next. Coriopolis, Pennsylvania, the site of tonight's high school football game of the week. It's the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine from Franklin Terry Stadium. The Cornell Raiders taking on the Bishop Canevin Crusaders. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I am Matt Fargo, joined alongside the Hall of Fame coach Rick Mancini, former coach at Beaver Falls. Happy to have you in tonight's broadcast. It's Single A stealing the spotlight tonight, Rick. And the one thing walking into tonight's stadium and seeing the crowd file in is this sure has the feel of Friday Night Lights, small town style.
Well, there's no question. The atmosphere is tremendous. The weather is great. And from what I've seen in warm-ups, the teams are ready to play. And I believe, Matt, when the season schedule came out, that both teams pointed to this game. And as we start the second half of the season, it couldn't be more important, and the build-up couldn't be any more appropriate.
There's no question about it. Bishop Canevin has had Cornell's number to this point, but the Crusaders fell for the first time this season, losing to Fort Cherry. Meanwhile, Cornell rolling 6-0 on the season, trying to make it 7. They are one of 10 teams in all of the WPIL that are still undefeated coming into tonight. Let's take a look at our feature players. We'll start with the Bishop Canevin Crusaders, and it's the WVU commit, Jason Cross, a receiver safety for the Crusaders. 16 catches this season, 266 yards, averaging 20 yards a catch. Had offers from Virginia Tech, Michigan State, Syracuse, among others. But he's headed to Morgantown next year, and he's going to be the do-it-all factor back for the Crusaders tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, for the Cornell Raiders, it's quarterback C.J. Jackson, a senior who got a bunch of great experience last year due to injury. Now he's stepping up in a big way. 649 yards through the air this year, 11 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. And that's got to be a key, Rick, tonight, because the Raiders earlier this season, when they beat Seton LaSalle, they had 5 turnovers in that 1-point win. They need to keep turnovers to a minimum tonight if they want a chance of beating the Crusaders.
Well, there's no question about it. And I believe how the game plays out early on is going to be a key factor, because we're looking at a situation where Cornell has struggled the last few times they've played Bishop Canevin. And even though that's not necessarily a factor because faces change every year, that's still in the back of their minds. So they need to come out, play turnover-free football early on, and hang in there right at the beginning, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Nick Chevrolet. Before you buy, got to give Nick a try, and to kind of build off of what you were saying, Rick, we'll start with Bishop Canevin. Cross is key. We're talking about Jason Cross and all the things he could do. Not only is he a great receiver, but he also played quarterback last year. Now, that has regressed a little bit from what they want to do offensively, but you know that he can line up anywhere on the field.
Well, he's obviously a tremendous athlete. And despite the statistics, the fact is when somebody is getting recruited Division I level, those coaches are looking at factors that you don't always see on the scoreboard or you don't always see in the stat book. So obviously he has the tools, and he's the man.
On the other side of things for the Cornell Raiders, you have rewrite history. You were alluding to that fact that Bishop Canevin has had Cornell's number the last times they've played them. In fact, last year it was 62-0. How do they get over that mental block? Because, like you said, last year was last year. This is a whole new season.
Well, that mental block has been gotten over. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt on that because, as we used to say, when you get to this point, the hay's in the barn. You've prepared all week for this game, so I'm sure part of the psychological preparation on Cornell's standpoint was to get over that hurdle. Now, that being said, once the ball's kicked off, let's go. Let's move the football and let's hang in there.
There's no question about it. A single A showdown tonight from Coriopolis. Bishop Canevin and Cornell in the 1-5-108. We're coming back with you on the Steel City High School Football Showcase, all presented to you by UPMC Sports Medicine on KDKA+. Are you ready? High above Franklin Terry Stadium in Coriopolis, gearing up for Bishop Canevin and Cornell. Let's go down to the sidelines to Hannah Mears.
This could very well be the first undefeated high school football team in Cornell school history. Coach Ed Dawson told me that as far back as he can trace the records, he believes this to be true. But it has not come easy for his team. He said they had 2 games decided by 1 score, but why his team came out on top in those games, they've been following a mantra: learn to operate in chaos. He said his team's been able to set the egos aside, play unselfish football, and in make-or-break situations have found their way to the top. As for Bishop Canevin, Coach Johnson told me they're still searching for their identity. They know that they can hang their hat on their defense. Despite what happened last week, he's still confident. But as for their offense, they've been passing the ball a lot, and tonight he'd like to see them incorporate more of the run. He did say they did not play a week 0 game. They had a game canceled this year, so he believes with more reps like here tonight, he thinks they'll be just fine, Matt.
Thanks, Hannah. It's time for the Allegiant Federal Credit Union kickoff. Bishop Canevin will send it the way of the Cornell Raiders to get week 6 across the WPIO and our Steel City High School Football Showcase underway. As McFetridge puts this one in the air and it heads towards this far line, picked up by the Cornell Raiders and pushed up ahead on the return was Julian Cordice, and the Cornell Raider offense will take the field for the first time tonight. We talked about it in the pregame. C.J. Jackson leading the way at quarterback, but they also have a really impressive tailback in Khalil Johnson, just a sophomore, Rick, and really Cornell fans really like him, and I think it's a big key tonight to get the running attack going for Cornell as well.
No question about it. I think their approach has to be to come out and move the sticks, try to hold the football, keep the ball out of the hands of those explosive players on the Bishop Canevin side.
First down and 10 for the Cornell Raiders. They operate from the 25-yard line. A couple misdirection motions. Now they're going to take a shot down the near side. Numbers and incomplete, intended for Dre Newton, a wide receiver down the near sideline. No good. And of course, lurking in that secondary is Jason Cross, and he'll be lurking all night for Bishop Canevin. As we take a look at it, we're going to take a look at the starting lineup for Cornell and the offense. Mentioned Jackson and Johnson in the backfield. Dre Newton, a big threat downfield where you saw what they're going to try to do. Also, Coach told me about Mikey Keys. Loves Mikey Keys. He got the keys, and he'll try to tonight. And then that offensive line needs to hold steady for the Raiders tonight against a vicious Bishop Canevin front line as they'll hand it off on first down. And Johnson gets the carry, pushing forward to the 30-yard line.
I like the approach early on. Throwing the ball deep right off the bat, loosen the defense up, and then come back and hit them up the middle with a run.
There's Bishop Canevin starting lineup. Mentioned Cross in the backfield, but also Najee Austin, one of the linebackers. Jamel Lindsay as well. Third down, 6 for the Raiders from the 30. Play action, rolling out is Jackson. Throwing across the middle of the field. It is intercepted, and guess who it is? Jason Cross lurking. There is a flag down, so we'll check on the penalty.
Matt, that flag was in the area of roughing the quarterback, but we'll wait to see.
Yes. Roughing the passer, it is against Bishop Canevin. So a turnover early turned into a not only penalty against Bishop Canevin, but one that will give them an automatic first down and keep this Cornell drive alive. Their first down of the ball game, courtesy of a penalty from BC.
And what we noticed on that play is that Bishop Canevin's playing man-to-man coverage in their secondary, and they have their star player sitting back there at free safety, and he's just reading the quarterback's eyes, and he did a great job of breaking on the football on that play.
Jackson going to hand it off. Johnson trying to get it up to the midfield stripe. No further for the sophomore. Khalil Johnson, 5'9", 175. Picks his way for a gain of 5. It's second down and 5 upcoming right from midfield, which is painted pink, of course, as we jump into October, Rick. Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Very important. Very, very important. And Matt, again, I think on that play, first down, positive yards, 5-yard gain, running the ball off tackle. If Cornell can keep that up, they're going to find themselves in a position to make some good play calls.
Second down, 5. Canevin shows blitz, designed run play for Jackson. Jackson with blockers in front, picks up the first down, and he's into Bishop Canevin territory inside the 40-yard line. Cross comes up to make the tackle along with Najee Austin, the senior, but not before Cornell gets their own first down this time.
And they had a really good push up front that time on the right side and gave the quarterback some room to run, and he showed good quickness getting to the edge.
Makes it a first down and 10 inside the 40-yard line for the Raiders. Opening drive of our Steel City High School football showcase here tonight from Frank Lettieri Stadium in Coriopolis. Raiders and Crusaders. Single A football. As it's a shotgun with the tight set to the far side formation. Motion man is Newton. They flip it back out to Newton as Dre Newton tries to get to the corner, and Bishop Canevin is all over it. First one on the scene is Davion Taylor, just a sophomore, but makes up a big-time play at the 45-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 6.
With the quickness that you see that Bishop Canevin has on their defensive line, those plays are going to be tough because it gives them time to react. A good play design, but even a better defense from the up-front people.
Second down, 17. Back at the 45-yard line. Both teams kind of testing the waters out here, and Cornell trying to convert on their first offensive series, and they go deep down the far sideline, incomplete. Trying to get Mikey Keys down that far sideline, ball overthrown, and it will be a second or third down coming up here at 17 back at the 45-yard line.
And Bishop Canevin obviously has a lot of confidence in their cornerbacks because they're putting them out there one-on-one on an island. They have a little bit of help in the middle of the field with Cross, their best player. But when you run those sideline routes, it's tough for the free safety to get there. So far, good play by the cornerbacks for Bishop Canevin.
Third down, another one for Cornell. The last one resulted in a Bishop Canevin penalty. Out of the slot motion is Cordice as Jackson keeps on the option. And there's not much open room there. Coming up out of the linebacker spot, Jamel Lindsey. The junior makes the tackle after only a gain of 1. It's fourth down. And the Raiders looking to the far sideline, the home team tonight, but they put Bishop Canevin on what normally is the home sideline, and they are hanging out in the woods on the other far. No stands on that side, so a lot quieter over there.
Well, they like that peace and quiet behind them. I don't blame them. If you have the choice, why not?
Absolutely. Seeing a lot more teams do that through the years.
Yes.
Punt unit is out for Cornell. Cross is back to receive for the Crusaders. He'll catch it at the 13-yard line across the 20, and there goes Cross breaking a tackle. Has midfield. Cross one man to beat and cannot beat him. Finally pulled down. A big return by Cross. Mikey Keys makes the touchdown-saving tackle, as it was a 50-yard return by Cross. We're going to come back with Bishop Canevin's first offensive series. No score. Cornell and Bishop Canevin here on the showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine.
Around here in the fall, harvest moons, cool, crisp evenings, and on Friday nights, legends come alive in Pittsburgh. WPIAL High School Football. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Steel City Game of the Week. Allegiant salutes the players, the fans, the cheerleaders, and the parents. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union. 5 locations and a sponsor of this WPIAL High School Football broadcast.
This awesome gift is from my grandma. I use free pay policy from GBA Life.
What does it do?
It accumulates cash value, helps protect my future insurability, and it may even earn dividends.
What's so great about that?
My policy will grow with me. Plus, I get access to the GBA Life Youth Leaders Program, scholarships, and more.
Oh.
You might be interested in a GBA Life annuity. You're probably thinking about retiring soon, right, Mrs. Jones?
Why call 2 men in a truck? If you're like Joe, you need to move your business without moving a single meeting. The word stop isn't in your vocabulary. You want it handled with no hitches, no glitches, and no sweat. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck.
Two Men in a Truck. Panera's You Pick Two means when part of you wants crispy, crunchy, fresh, and part of you wants melty, smoky, peppery. Both U's win big. You pick two and get more. Cater your next event with Panera.
And we'll welcome you back to the Steel City Showcase. Tonight's community sponsor is United Rentals. Thank you to United Rentals for providing tonight's scissor lift, giving you aerial coverage, an additional shot there from the end zone. Appreciate that. Bishop Canevin goes to work offensively. First down and 10 as we get Cole Olszewski, the quarterback, going to let it fly down the far side. Back shoulder throw there, trying to get Jason Cross down the sideline, but he cannot. And Olszewski is going to be the guy. Of course, him and Cross split time at quarterback last year, but now Olszewski getting really the reins to the quarterback. And it's his birthday. Happy birthday to Cole Olszewski today.
Yes, and as you called it, Matt, that ended up being a back shoulder type throw, but certainly the quarterback was trying to lead Cross just because he had a step on the defender. If he had thrown that out there, he might have had a chance to run underneath it.
Second down, 10. 7:45 to play in the opening quarter. Motion out of the slot, it's Cross, and Cross getting the jet carry here that doesn't go anywhere, and piling on to the Raiders. Stopping forward progress right at the line of scrimmage as we take a look at the Cornell defense. And a bunch of these guys were in on this tackle. See Santana Lee, another key cog in the middle there at linebacker position. Khalil Johnson, at this level, as you well know, we've talked in years past, Rick, about small town football. A lot of these guys playing both ways. Be third down and 10 from the 37. Olszewski sends Marshall in motion. Back to passes Olszewski. He'll throw, and it is on target, short of the line to gain. It's going to be fourth down. Hauling in the pass is Tyjair Clayton, the senior. And it will be third down for Bishop Canevin.
Yeah, and on that route, they ran the defensive deep with Cross taking off, running a fly route. And then the receiver ran a little bit of a hitch route.
That was Clayton, by the way.
Yes. Ran a little bit of a hitch route to get near the sticks. Obviously, they had already in mind they were going to go for it on fourth down here.
Fourth down, 3 to go. Olszewski from the shotgun. Back to pass. Throwing near side. Too tall for his intended receiver. Incomplete. Trying to climb the ladder there was Jaden Lindsay. Could not do so, and it is going to be a turnover on downs. We're going to step aside. We'll be back. Cornell, Bishop Canevin on the Showcase, presented by UPMC Sports Medicine, right here on KDKA+.
Pittsburgh. Its long and proud heritage is beautifully preserved in the awe-inspiring buildings that surround it, in the places where we live, where we worship, and where we play. One company has been awarded the challenge of restoring all that great heritage for nearly 75 years. Mariani and Richards, restoring the heritage, preserving the pride.
Maya, can you come in here, please?
Already.
Yeah, Dad, what's up?
Is that your brother on the TV?
Yeah, that's my brother. It looks like it's tonight's game.
But how can that be your brother? I have never missed a single game.
We couldn't go tonight. Remember, you broke your foot.
Right. Well, I don't know who's putting on this production, but without them, I'd be missing this.
Fall is in the air at Pittsburgh's premier outdoor shopping, dining, and play destination, the Waterfront. Find fall weather gear at retailers like Old Navy, DSW, and Rally House. Dine at family-friendly restaurants like Primanti Brothers, Shorty's Tap and Taco, and more. Experience indoor playtime at Dave & Buster's, Urban Air, and more. Speaking of play, the Waterfront is a proud sponsor of this Steel City High School football broadcast and happy to support WPIAL football across our region. Visit us at waterfrontpgh.com for more information.
Steel City High School football showcase tonight from Frank Lettieri Stadium. First down and 10 for the Raiders. They hold off a Bishop Canevin attempt. Both teams have touched the football. Still goose eggs on the scoreboard. 6:07 to play in our opening quarter. Back to work goes the Cornell Raider offense. Johnson carries forward for a yard. No further. Let's go downstairs to Hannah Mears.
Yeah, guys, pay attention to this center position for this Bishop Canevin team. Logan Farbacher, or for this Cornell team, excuse me, Logan Farbacher started the season as the team center, broke his wrist, and had to move from center in order to still play. He told his coach he still wanted to play even with the cast on. So now Jamarcus Pierce is taking the center role, having played there in the past, though. So it's not brand new to him, but they did make that switch. Matt?
Something to keep an eye out for sure, Hannah. Thank you. Another carry forward as we get another look at that offensive front for the Cornell Raiders. It's Cordice. He's the second option in terms of running the football in the backfield. It's going to be third down here for Cornell.
And Matt, Hannah mentioned about the broken bone that the one young man had. Those are sort of the hidden facts that you don't see from the crowd. You see these guys out there with their uniforms on playing hard, but you don't realize the bumps and bruises that come along with that. So you got to give them credit for being out there and battling as they are.
Yeah, and sometimes they're a little bit more than bumps and bruises.
No question.
It's third down and 7 from the 34-yard line. Jackson fumbles the snap, goes back and gets it, picks it back up, and he is dumped in the backfield. Tyjair Clayton on the scene first for the Crusaders. He wears one, and he was the first one there.
And a play like that is almost a turnover for Cornell because, again, I think the key from what we're seeing so far is they need to keep moving the sticks because it looks like it's only a matter of time before Bishop Canevin's going to start connecting on some of these passes they're throwing. And, of course, to have number 2 back deep to receive the punt, that's always treacherous for the opposition.
Cross is back deep for the punt return.
Cornell in punt formation. Johnson back there to boot it away, and not a good punt. Kind of went up the elevator shaft. I mean, that's one way of keeping it away from Cross, but you also don't want to give him that good field position.
Right. Yeah, not a bad approach, but you'd like for it to be a little bit deeper than that. But actually, that was caused by the defensive pressure. They had a good rush on the punter.
Taking a look at the Black Hills Conference standing, Cornell undefeated, unblemished, 6-0, 3-0 in conference. Fort Cherry right with them, tied for first place. They're due it all back. Matt Sig, 7 touchdowns against Canevin last week. Just really impressive. And then he got a host of offers. Pitt, Penn State, Syracuse, Nebraska have all offered the young man, just a sophomore.
Wow.
First down and 10 from the 33 as Olszewski puts it into the belly of tailback Marquise Carter, and Carter has nowhere to go.
28, Marquise Carter on the run. Gets met right at the line by number 51.
That was a good read by the linebackers on that play. Of course, it was a straight handoff, but still they met the ball at the point of attack. And, of course, up front they held their own.
Jeff Collington on the tackle for the Raiders, second down. And, you know, while Bishop Canevin is trying to, I think that was the one thing that Rich Johnson talked to me earlier this week about, is they got to get better at playing boring football. He called it boring football. Team loves putting up points, loves the splash pads, but needs to get better at running between the tackles in that boring football.
Well, boring football will set up what I believe this is going to be a play-action pass here. That's what boring football does.
Back to pass, just a pass it is over the middle and overcooked. Incomplete, tried to hook up with Tyjair Clayton, who had the big play defensively to set up the football, and now it's going to be third down and 9 for the Bishop Canevin offense. And you were right about one thing, Rick. They did take a shot downfield there.
Well, both teams have been taking shots downfield, and again, that's a good way to stretch the defense. But I think both teams have to look for a little more consistency on offense. Their goal should be to move the sticks, especially with Bishop Canevin getting the ball in enemy territory. They need to be thinking in terms of let's get a first down and keep moving.
There you see Cole Olszewski, the quarterback, 59 completed of 89 attempted for 1,025 yards, 14 touchdowns this season, 5 interceptions. Olszewski under pressure will just throw it out of bounds and incomplete. Just trying to get it back to the original line of scrimmage, and he was able to do so as it will be 4th down.
Grounding.
But how about the pressure there from Cornell and the defense there? Relentless.
No question about it. They showed good quickness. I'm surprised they didn't call intentional grounding on that, but I guess it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, as they say, because it's still 4th and long. Yeah, very good pursuit by the defensive front of Cornell.
4th down. Bishop Canevin on a 4th and 9 for the 34-yard line, going to spread things out. Cornell trying to go back-to-back on turnover on downs here. And the offense jumps. Receivers took off early, and Coach, I know this is the one thing, the quickest way, one of the quickest ways coaches can lose hair.
Well, what you tell your receivers, anybody split out, is you can look in at the football, and then that way you make sure you don't jump off sides. Now, if there was a problem in hearing the quarterbacks count, that's what you need to do. Otherwise, maybe they were just a little bit anxious, or one thing you never know, maybe they were right and the snap was wrong.
Well, I could tell that your teams never did that because you still got your hair.
Well, yeah, but you're not looking at the Rolaids I have in my pocket.
Punt unit away. This one's going to roll in, and this one's going to be a great punt. Going to pin Cornell deep inside the 5-yard line. It is going to be Cornell football, but they're going to be in the shadow of their own goalposts. And we mentioned that October is Breast Cancer Awareness, and you can help fight breast cancer. Aren't we teamed up with the American Cancer Society and Men Wear Pink this month? All the pink outs that you will see, it's pink out at night, of course, here at Cornell. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to donate directly to the American Cancer Society's Men Wear Pink campaign, and all the young men on the field sporting pink, whether it be the spat, whether it be the socks or the towels. It's a great reason, and we can't forget the reason why we're wearing pink either, Rick.
One of the most worthy causes that can be supported anytime, anywhere. No doubt about it. We have to find a cure for breast cancer.
Cornell takes a timeout with 2:22 to go, and taking a look at where these teams have come from. Let's take a look at Cornell's way to get here. They're undefeated, 6-0 on the season, and how do they get to 6-0? Well, this is how they did it. A big win against St. LaSalle. And Rick, I think it's the most impressive win they have on their ledger. That's a 3A team. They won 20-19, took down the Rebels in that game. St. LaSalle would go on to then beat 2A power Steel Valley later in the year, and then the last year's single A champion, the team that beat Bishop Canevin at Acrisure Stadium. Cornell got the win against the Union Scotties 30-14. Those are two convincing wins, reasons why Cornell needs to be treated as one of the contenders here.
No doubt about it. Big wins for their program. And week in, week out, there are battles to be fought, and that's how you have to look at it, and it doesn't matter who's on the other side. You got to come out and play your game.
C.J. Jackson lines up in the pistol with his back against the goal line. He is in the end zone, actually, and it's going to be a false start. Now he's really going to be even closer. This is going to move them back. In these situations, Rick, where sometimes you've already had a bad snap, are you mentioning to your players, I'd rather take a safety than give up a touchdown here? Is that something you're mentioning?
Well, not this early in the ball game. Later in the game, if the score was conducive to that, giving up 2 as opposed to 6 or 7, yes. But no, this early, Matt, I'd just be telling them, let's run the play. Let's do what we've been practicing.
2:22 to go here in the first. Ball sitting at the 2-yard line. It's a carry by Julian Cordice. The senior carries forward and almost sprung one, and that is what can tend to happen. We saw it a couple weeks ago with Thomas Jefferson and Bell Vernon. a big 95-yard touchdown run, but they almost broke it there.
Yeah, now, one thing I would consider, depending on what happens on this next down, is if it's third and relatively long, you may want to throw one deep, because sometimes a deep pass that's intercepted is better than a punt return. But you still have a chance to make the sticks.
Jackson on 2nd down and 3. Canevin loading the box. As this carry doesn't go for much. Cordice gets the carry, and he's bottled up. Camden Cooley on the tackle for Bishop Canevin. It'll bring up 3rd down here for Cornell.
Yeah, obviously they're playing it pretty close to the vest, not wanting to turn the ball over. And I'm going to assume that last punt that they had was went awry because of the rush. So they probably have confidence in their punter, and that's why they're not too worried about having to punt the football. But on a down like this, Matt, I would air it out. I'd throw it deep.
3rd down, 6. Just how close it is to the goal line is taken off as Jackson. Little option play, dumping it out. Breaking one tackle is Johnson. Stop and go move, and it gets wrapped up nicely. Good job to stay with it there by Davion Taylor, the sophomore for Bishop Canevin. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere, but it's a Cornell 1st down. Great job by the sophomore to pick it up.
No question about it. That was a really good run, because he had 2 defenders right at him right after he received the pitch, and he was able to run through one tackle and dodge the other to make the sticks. Very good athletic play.
And you know what? This does a couple things. Obviously, it gives them some breathing room and turns this clock. We're headed towards the end of the 1st quarter already, Rick. No score. That's got to be a part of Cornell's game, too, because they don't want to get into a track meet with Bishop Canevin and how quickly they can score the football. Back to pass. Throwing on a slant route. It's completed, and pulling defenders with him. It is completed. That's Mikey Keys, and Mikey Keys has a Cornell Raider 1st down.
That was an impressive play. I mean, the receiver did a good job getting inside the defender, giving the quarterback his numbers to throw at. And I'll tell you what, he stuck that pass right in those numbers.
Well, that number is 17, and that's what the pass and catch went for, 17 yards on the pass and catch for a Cornell 1st down. And that's the way the 1st quarter will come to a close here from Franklin Terry Stadium. No score. Bishop Canevin, Cornell come back with us to Coriopolis on the Steel City High School Football Showcase, presented by UPMC Sports Medicine.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur, a dreamer with a passion for success? With Koza Law Group, your journey starts now. Whether you're dreaming of a small startup or envisioning a global empire, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Starting a business shouldn't be scary. It's about embracing the spirit of innovation, taking calculated risks, and believing in your potential to make a difference. We are more than just legal advisors. We are redefining legal services. Contact us today to experience the Koza Law difference.
Here at Loway, we have a pretty vast array of customizable promotional products, from pens, signs, mugs, water bottles, really anything you can think of. Some of the main services we provide here are screen printing, embroidery, and promotional products. What really sets us apart from our competitors is our on-staff design crew and our customer service. We can really help take your branding and marketing to a new level. The main thing you can expect from us here at Loway is quick turnaround times and a really high quality product.
I can show you the good now, but you're not going to understand how good it is until you know where I came from. Teen mom, dropped out of high school. I came across UPMC's Pathways to Work program, and my life changed 100%. I didn't know that I had these skills. UPMC brought it out of me. And now it's like the light just kind of starts shining.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals, work united.
High above Franklin Terry Stadium in Coriopolis tonight, the 15108 hosting our Steel City High School Football Showcase. Back with Rick Mancini, Matt Fargo, and Hannah Mears is downstairs First down and 10 for Cornell to start quarter number 2. The Raiders with the football and a fresh set of downs. And Khalil Johnson out to the far sideline, and he's finally hauled out of bounds. First down, and this should tack on another 15 with a flag down to the far sideline. It's a 20-yard gain for number 20, and maybe add 15 onto it.
Very nice run. Obviously, as you saw, the play was designed to go off the left side. He reversed his field and showed excellent quickness and good vision, finding that running room.
As we check the penalty, let's go downstairs to Hannah Mears.
You saw Khalil Johnson with that run. His coach said he's having a phenomenal season, but also has a great front leading the way for him, so he credited that line. But he said he truly understands now that not every run has to be a touchdown. He's more willing to take the short runs, understanding that eventually the home run hitters will come. So look for him to keep chipping away tonight, Matt.
That's a great point, Hannah, and something that I want to ask Coach about after this play. First down and 10 for the 35-yard line, and on cue, Moore Johnson, and he carries forward for, that couple yards, 3-4 yards on first down. And, Rick, that's the thing I wanted to ask you is, do you find that when players come up to the high school level and they've played to the middle school level, played to the midget level, and sometimes when you're that good, every play's a home run. Is it hard to sometimes get them to realize that the 3- and 4-yard carries are just as important as the home run hitters?
Well, the key is you have to hit the point of attack going 100 miles an hour. And then once you get there, if you see daylight, then you go for it. But the important thing is to get positive yards on every play, and then the big plays will come.
Second down and 6 from the 31-yard line. They gave him 4. And back to the ground game. It's Cordice this time, and Cordice fighting for yards. That is new ball carrier Walter Claret. The junior gets his first carry of the ball game, and he's just shy of the 20-yard line. It's third down for the Raiders.
And Matt, every play offensively is designed to be effective, but sometimes the defense has a little bit to say about that. But certainly whenever you snap the ball, you're expecting positive yards and hopefully a big play.
Third down, 6 from the 31. Haven't seen C.J. Jackson put it in the air too many times recently. He will this time as he'll throw near side. Traffic there, incomplete. 2-on-2, flag is down. Intended receiver was Julian Cordice, and coverage was Jason Cross. Let's check the penalty, and will this be the second time Bishop Canevin gives Cornell a fresh set of downs on third down? It is.
And that is pass interference on Bishop Canevin.
Well, that was a good play by Cross, a good break on the football, but obviously he went right through the back of the receiver, and the official from the rear thought that was he was there a little bit too soon.
See it again there on the replay. Yeah, I think just a slight early arrival there.
Yeah, that was close.
Cornell knocking on the door now, pushing Bishop Canevin back here in the second quarter with no score. 10:23 to go in this second frame. Pistol formation for Jackson. And he keeps Jackson off the right side, and he fights his way down to the 13-yard line. Another 3 or 4 on first down.
Matt, it looked like, even though that was an option play, it looked like it was designed, predetermined for the quarterback to keep the football. And then what happens is your option back, your pitch back, becomes a blocker because they have to respect him, and that creates a little space. But on that play, the pitchback didn't get out there quick enough, so it was one-on-one for the quarterback.
They give him 3, second down, 7. Jackson handed off. And pushing forward is Johnson. Good push there by the offensive front of the Cornell Raiders.
Good surge. Good job of the running back, just staying low and getting what he can get.
That was Cordice that got that carry.
Number 2, Cordice on the carry.
Seeing the push. Got an extra 2-3 yards courtesy of that push.
Well, that's what it takes. When you're down deep here, you got to win the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Jackson with Cordice in the backfield. They give it off to Ashton Jones. Jones has a Cornell Raider first down. It's 1st and goal, Cornell. Jones' first carry of the ball game, and Cornell not doing it flashy, but they are doing it methodically.
No question. And the way this game is playing out, crossing the goal line here for Cornell would be really big, really big.
Jackson with Jones and Cordice in the backfield with him. High snap over the head of Jackson. He goes back to retrieve and gets it at the 25-yard line. Bishop Canevin needs to be careful that they don't get called for unnecessary roughness. Remember, all a knee needs to go down for him to be down, but he made sure he was down.
Yeah, well, the defender was obviously being a little bit aggressive there. But, I was just going to say, one of the drawbacks to running out of the shotgun consistently, especially when you get down deep, is sometimes you only need to gain 2 yards, but yet the ball carrier is getting the ball 6 yards deep. So that's why I like to be under center every now and then, as opposed to in what most people call a shotgun formation.
That's the old ball coach coming out in you.
Well, no question about it. If we have to make 2, why give the ball to somebody that's 8 yards deep?
Well, you know what? I mean, I think every level of football could be assessed to. Well, second down at 23. Second down and goal from the 23. Back to pass. Little play action. Now they're going to throw the screen. And, man, he fired that one in there. And Dre Newton didn't know it was coming. Incomplete. Third down.
No, it looked like the quarterback pump faked the pass at first, and I believe the receiver may have thought he was going to throw it deep, but he came right back to him.
A third down and goal back at the 23-yard line. No score, 7:20 to play. Bishop Canevin's first loss of the season last week, a 48-41 loss to Fort Cherry. Meanwhile, Cornell had a thriller here at Frank Lettieri Stadium, a 1-point win over Burgettstown. 2 big fourth quarter touchdowns by C.J. Jackson, who gets the snap here. Rolling here to the near side is Jackson, looking to throw. He throws it into the end zone, back of the end zone, caught for the touchdown! It's caught by Mikey Keys! We got the Keys, and Cornell has the lead. A 23-yard strike. Jackson to Keys, and Cornell has the lead.
And that was a very athletic play on both ends. The quarterback sprinting to his left as a right-hander, making that throw the way he did, and the receiver catching the ball with the defender right in his face.
And that catch would have been good at any level. Both feet down. See it again here on the replay. What placement.
What a catch.
And concentration. Great concentration. And a great throw.
Kenny Wade on to attempt the extra point. That is through the poles and good. 7:10 to play in our second quarter. Cornell strikes first over Bishop Canevin. They lead it 7-0. Come back with us. Canevin tries to respond on the showcase on KDKA Plus.
When you step through that door or shake their hands, will you be prepared? When you stand up for a client or walk into that meeting, will you be ready to prove to them that you deserve to be there?
When you come to Washington and Jefferson, you will be.
Washington and Jefferson College. Are you ready?
Panera's You Pick 2 means when part of you wants crispy, crunchy, fresh, and part of you wants melty, smoky, peppery. Both yous win big. You pick 2 and get more. Cater your next event with Panera.
Looking to escape a dead-end job? We can help. Apply at 2 Men in a Truck today for a good job that can become a great career.
Around here in the fall, harvest moons, cool, crisp evenings, and on Friday nights, legends come alive in Pittsburgh. WPIAL High School Football. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Steel City Game of the Week. Allegiant salutes the players, the fans, the cheerleaders, and the parents. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union, 5 locations, and a sponsor of this WPIAL high school football broadcast.
Welcome you back to Coriopolis tonight. Cornell has the lead 7-0. Cornell, Rick, just in its 8th season of rebirth. The program went away in 2012 due to low numbers. They co-op with Quaker Valley. They had a young man by the name of Dane Jackson back then who plays for the Buffalo Bills now. But back in 2016, Ed Dawson, who was the coach in that last year in 2012, he pushes the school board to bring the football program back. And now 8 years in, they've already been to a WPIAL semifinal, which they lost to Bishop Canevin. But this is a program that went away and came back. How many times can you say that? As they're going to pooch kick this in a big-time lick. Jolie Cordice with the lick.
That's what you call running through the football. And that's what you teach your defenders. Run right through it.
All right, let's go down to Hannah Mears.
Matt, you keep saying this is a single-A football game, but let me just tell you, it is so hard to hear down on the sidelines because these fans are incredibly loud, and they voted for us as well as the Steelers Showcase to be here tonight. Coach Dawson said that they know they're one of the smallest districts in the area, but having the opportunity for the players to be here and be on TV, it is once in a lifetime, Matt. They are very appreciative.
It is once in a lifetime, Hannah, as this is the first time Cornell has ever been on television in high school football. As look at this heavy run that finally gets blown dead, and it's going to be a gain of a few here, but there is a flag down. We'll check with the Zebras on that. But yeah, this is the first time Cornell has ever been featured on television, and really, if you're a single-A football team, you pretty much have to get to the finals in order to have a shot at being on TV. And I think that that's something that I'm excited about, being able to showcase single-A football, even going back to, it doesn't matter what level of classification you play, you can still make it to the top level. You see what Dane Jackson did when he graduated, of course, from Cornell, but played at Quaker Valley, and even another guy in the league, and Tyler Boyd playing for Clarendon. You know, it doesn't really matter, Rick, where you are. It's just a matter of where you get.
And when I was coaching at Beaver Falls, Matt, we opened with Clareton 2 years in a row. Nobody told them they were Class A when we played them, believe me.
So the penalty assessed against Cornell, and now Olszewski going to test it down here the near side. Cross makes the catch, and it's out of bounds.
And I think we're going to see more of that as the game goes on. Get Cross out there one-on-one, throw it up, and let him go get the football.
That's a 25-yard pass and catch. Olszewski hooks up with Jason Cross, the WVU commit. Makes a big catch as Bishop Canevin in the business right now, responding and answering to the Cornell score.
And Cross showed that he's pretty physical there because that's basically how he got free to get that football.
And they're going to give it off to Carter. Off the left side, and Carter picks his way just shy of the 10-yard line. Bishop Canevin on the other side of the coin, Rick, beat Cornell 63-0 last year and made their second consecutive WPIAL championship. They won it back in 2021, lost last year to Union in one of the big upsets in the finals. The 10th-seeded Scotties got the win.
Right, Union being coached by one of my all-time best friends in coaching, Rich Niederball. His son, Kim, is the coach at Union, doing a great job.
And that was in his first year. Of course, Canevin won against Olsz in 2021, throwing into the back of the end zone. He's got Cross on a crossing pattern for a Canevin touchdown.
He snatched that pass out of the air like he knew what he was doing. That was a great catch and a great throw.
Olszewski dials it in, 15th of the season. Let's take a look at it again. High above Frank Lettieri Stadium on this one.
Well, Matt, that's back-to-back tremendous pass plays for touchdowns, one from each team.
Yes. Extra point is through the poles. It's good. Ryan McFeaturidge puts it through, and we're tied after a scoreless first quarter and parts of the second quarter. Now we have a tie game at 7-7. It's the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. We're back on KDKA Plus after this timeout.
I started working out with my dad when I was 12 years old. He said, while everybody else is sleeping, you up working. It's gonna pay off for you. Biggest decisions I ever had to make my junior year. I had my daughter at the time, so, I'm like, I gotta provide. I had the opportunity to leave early. I had to make a decision. Was I gonna leave or was I gonna come back to college for an extra year? I'm about to cry talking about this shit. Once I made that decision to come back, my mindset wasn't just to be good, it was to be great.
My name is Loretta, and this is Special Olympics Pennsylvania.
Special Olympics Pennsylvania is competition.
Special Olympics Pennsylvania is leadership.
Special Olympics Pennsylvania is life-changing.
Special Olympics Pennsylvania is unified.
Special Olympics Pennsylvania is inclusion.
And we're back here on the showcase. Bishop Canevin answers the Cornell score with one of their own. 7-7 here in the second quarter on a 12-yard pass. Olszewski hooks up with Cross.
And Matt, on that conversion, the extra point kick, the kicker for Bishop Canevin did a good job, put it right down the middle, split the uprights, no question. And after Cornell scored, the kicker did a good job, but he used every bit of the extra space you get on the high school goalpost because it's a little bit wider than the goalpost at other levels.
Squib kick. They pick it up on the return. It's Walter Claret on the return, and Cornell's going to have good field position just over the 40-yard line as we go downstairs to Hannah Mears again.
Matt, interesting information about two prominent Bishop Canevin players on the field. Up until last week, the leading passer in BC history was starting wide receiver Jason Cross. However, the record now belongs to starting quarterback Cole Olszewski. Cross played quarterback for BC up until last season. When I asked Coach about the shift, he said, well, first and foremost, Cole earned the QB spot, but when you have a guy like Jason Cross, you want to get the ball in his hands no matter where he is on the field.
You have to imagine, Hannah, that's got to be the first time ever that one quarterback has passed the other by throwing to the guy who previously had the record.
That's the epitome of not being selfish.
Carry forward across the 45 to the 47-yard line. It's second down and 5 now for Cornell.
But I think that's a good thought process from a coaching standpoint, because certainly it's easier to defend somebody if they're getting the ball in the middle of the formation as opposed to somebody split out wide. So they're taking advantage of the talent.
Yeah, a lot more one-on-one opportunities unless you're going to double them the entire game. Back to pass. Jackson going to dump this one off to Johnson in the flat. He has a first down and more down the far sideline. A flag is down way back behind the play, and it's not in a good area that I think Ed Dawson's going to appreciate.
No.
It's coming back, a holding call against Cornell.
Now that's the type of thing that really gets to you as a coach, because it was just a quick pass out into the flat. And of course what happens whenever the ball goes that quickly to the sideline, the defense is running that way, so sometimes the offensive linemen have to try to catch up, and they get their hands out, their arms out, and it doesn't take much for a referee to call holding on a play like that.
Penalty moves it back 37-yard line here. Second down and 15, they'll call it. And they're going to go 3 wide near side for Jackson. Pump fake. Some pressure, rolls away from it, looking, throws it across his body, and it goes incomplete. I think he was trying to get the ball over to Cordice, but the ball got tipped to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they had trips left and then a split end to the right, and that may look good for creating lanes for the receivers to run and get open, but there aren't many bodies left to block, and as a result, you're going to get pressure. So you're either going to have to throw it quick, but the quarterback showed good athleticism there, buying some time, running around the way he did. But it was just a matter of time because he didn't have enough help on the line of scrimmage.
Makes it 3rd down, 15 at the 37-yard line. C.J. Jackson, same formation. Screen play to the near side. And going to pick up some yardage, not going to get the first down. They get across the 45-yard line to the 46. Mikey Keys makes the reception and got a little bit of open room that's going to make this a manageable 4th down, and should they want to go for it.
Well, that was a good job by Keys catching that football because it was a low throw, and
Yeah.
he kept it from hitting the ground and made positive yards. But I don't know that going for it would be a real good idea at this point.
We have 4:07 to go here in the first half. 7-7 coming up at halftime. Hannah Mears will host our Steel City High School Football Showcase halftime show. We'll have the Steelers All-Peer team, a special treat for you. Also, Carlos Zofko, the best of the best from last week in the WPIL, the top 10 plays from last week. Is Jackson going to try his attempt at punting, and this is going to roll back. They're going to get the ball in better field position that had that play got nothing. So
that was a punt from -2 yards.
Yes. We're talking about earlier Dane Jackson from the Buffalo Bills, and made us think, where are all the WPIL players from what schools that represent in the NFL? Take a look. Pittsburgh Central Catholic has 4 players currently in the NFL. Newcastle has 2, as does Woodland Hills. And then the rest of these schools have 1 player each. And there's 2 single-A schools on the ledger there. Cornell and Clairton mentioned both of those players as Bishop Canevin gets the ball into their other playmaker, as this is going to be a couple flags down on this one as Walter Claret had his helmet taken off.
Usually when the helmet comes off and is still in the hand of the defender, it's easy to call face mask. Yeah, that's unfortunate, though. You don't like to see a play like that. Obviously accidental, but by the same token, somebody can get hurt pretty badly with a play like that.
That's going to be 15 yards.
Well, you know, Matt, you were talking about Class A schools having players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let's never forget that a Class A enrollment school in Aliquippa has 3 players in the NFL Hall of Fame.
That's right, which is now the most
of anybody.
Of anyone in the country.
Yes.
There's a look at it. This penalty is getting marched off, and Bishop Canevin now threatening after running 1 play, and Cornell's going to take a timeout here. Big opportunity. Cornell's defense twice in this first half, Rick, has shut the door on the Canevin offense, and I think that this is going to be an opportunity here that they have another opportunity to shut that door.
Well, an opportunity, yes, but not an enviable position to be in, because Bishop Canevin has shown that they have the weapons, and they've obviously started using them. I look for them to try to go to Mr. Cross again here pretty quickly.
Hannah Mears busy tonight. Let's go down to her.
Matt, you saw Ajon Marshall lose his helmet on that last play. I asked Coach about him. What type of guy is he on the field? He said he's a playmaker, but get this. He said he's going to make plays, but his biggest asset is he's tough to bring down. He likes to break tackles, so when you go to tackle him, you better bring your all. And they looked like they tried to get every part of his uniform as well, Matt.
I'll say.
And you know, Matt, that play reminds me of why it's so important to do neck strengthening exercises in preseason as well as during the season, because you got to really be careful of that part of the body.
First down 10 from the 13-yard line for Bishop Canevin. Olszewski throwing over the middle, and it is caught for the touchdown, Jason Cross. Second time tonight for number 2.
That was a tremendous catch and a good play by the quarterback. Throw it out there, let your big-time player go get the football, and that's exactly what happened. Not only is it tough to defend that, sometimes there's no defense for a play like that.
Extra point. McFitridge puts it through the poles, 3:39 to play. Bishop Canevin's first lead of the night, 14-7 here against the Cornell Raiders. Single A battle, and we were talking about earlier what Bishop Canevin did to this point, and they lost their week 0 game. Rick Hanna was talking about this earlier. They lost their week 0 game, and then they get a forfeit win 2 weeks ago against Avella. So, you know, they're playing just 5 games into what most teams have been playing 6 or 7 games in, and that creates a little bit of a disadvantage there as well. You take a look at what they were able to do, 26-6 win over GCC, win over Keystone Oaks. Home field advantage, very, very important in that game. Both teams share the same field. But
well, Matt, and there's 2 ways to look at it. A disadvantage from the standpoint of trying to get your execution where you want it to be, but yet an advantage in not being as beat up as some other teams are at this point of the season. So, you know, there's 2 ways to look at that, but obviously they figured out what they need to do, and certainly when they get down in tight, you better look for number 2, because that's where the football's going.
3:39 to play here in the second, and put this one back on a tee. Canevin going to send it back the way of the Raiders. This one more of a traditional right to the 20-yard line. And a good return down the far sideline. It's Cordice. Cordice with a burst of speed and gets jumped out of bounds, but Cornell sets them up in good field position as there is a flag down, though, and this one is going to be coming back, and another big play for Cornell, but another penalty that negates it.
Yeah, it's tough to see what happened on that other than to see the flag come late and from deep, but obviously the official had a good view of the holding. But I can assure you, Matt, that the coaches on the Cornell sideline are saying, let them play. Let them play.
Back to the 25-yard line where it's first down and 10 for Cornell with 3:31 to play. Cornell has a timeout in their pocket. Here's C.J. Jackson. One hands the snap. Designed run play for him, and Jackson gets tackled from behind. Jason Cross secured the tackle on that one after a pickup of 3 yards.
And Cornell has a lot of faith in the athletic ability of their quarterback, because they come out in a lot of 4-receiver sets. But that time, of course, they ran to the 4-receiver side and used them as blockers. But even in passing situations, they're spreading them out pretty good, and their quarterback seems to be able to buy time because, again, when you spread out like that, you don't have many bodies left to block on the interior.
Motion, Cordice. Top side of your screen. Back to pass, Jackson. Going to throw it down the near sideline. Mikey Keys, in and out of the hands, incomplete. coverage provided by Tamar Olds, the sophomore, going up against the junior.
Very good coverage. And obviously, the way they're teaching the coverage is to run with the receiver, your eyes on him, and when he reaches for the ball, you reach up and try to strip the ball from his hands. I always liked, when I was coaching defensive backs, to teach my guys, when you got to a certain part of the field, 10 yards deep, I want you to turn and run with the receiver with your butt in his belly so you can look back at the football, because then you have a chance to catch it too. Because typically your defensive backs are going to be good receivers in high school.
Yeah. 3rd down 7. Cornell's fans getting into it here. Bishop Canevins as well, and they get the Bishop Canevin fans chanting defense. They get a sack. Davion Taylor and Anthony Charles in on the sack. Timeout, Bishop Canevin. They're going to try to get the ball back here with 2 minutes to go and try to add a score. And as the timeout is taken, we'll step aside as well. We'll keep an eye on the field with this word from our sponsor in UPMC.
Most individuals, when they have an injury, they want to get back. Most individuals, when they have an injury, they want to get back immediately, whether that is getting back to work or getting back to sport or getting to their next yoga workout. We really want to give them pain-free function and mobility as best we can for the extent of their lives, so they can be active, so they can enjoy being with their loved ones.
Back to Frank Letary Stadium tonight. Steel City High School football showcase in the 1-5-108 tonight.
And certainly, Matt, with what we've seen out of the punting game from Cornell, Bishop Canevin was hoping to force a punt out of them, because so far it hasn't been real productive for the team in blue.
No, the special team side of things certainly has been. This is a great punt. Rolling down, cross, or I beg your pardon, that was Ashawn Marshall. Did he touch it?
No. No, he did not touch it. I didn't see that happening.
No.
Good. We got a penalty.
There is a block in the back against Bishop Canevin. So that's going to march them back, and they have an opportunity here, Rick, to going up 2 scores. Obviously, Cornell built. They did it last week. They came back from a deficit, but still, that extra score, going up 2 scores going into the break, really puts you behind the 8 ball going into the second half.
Oh, that's tough. There's no question about it. But by the same token, Cornell has played a little defense here and looked to get a turnover.
High snap. Olszewski handles it. Screen play in and out of the hands. Incomplete. Marquise Carter, the intended receiver on that one, and it is second down for the Crusaders.
Number 77 for Cornell did a really good job there. Nick Bennett knocking that pass down. Matter of fact, he got one of his big paws on it. He might have been able to pick that off. One thing I noticed on the last punt from Cornell's punter, he just did the traditional catch, step, and punt. The one that he kicked it went 2 yards, he took off running and tried the old Australian soccer style kick.
Second down 10. Fake the screen. Olszewski got the defender to leave his feet. Now he flips it out just too tall. Overcooked just a tad, but Olszewski trying to do it all himself here. This is just fantastic play by 15.
Now, I would be curious as to whether there were linemen downfield on that play.
That's a good question. We'll take a look at it here on the replay. Just to avoid the sack just alone on that play.
Yeah, we can't tell from that angle, but because it looked like it was supposed to be a quick pass out in the flat, and oftentimes your linemen are just going to hit for a count and then take off to go find somebody. And when the play is extended like that, they could be downfield, and if the quarterback throws the ball downfield, but evidently didn't happen because they didn't call it.
And it looks like Bishop Canevin's going to call a timeout here with just under 2 minutes to play. 14-7, Canevin has the lead. Big third down coming up here for the Crusaders, and we'll take a look at the WPIAL Top 25, courtesy of Whitfield insider Carlo Zofko. Of course, Pittsburgh Central Catholic. This is all classifications, all the teams of the Whitfield Top 25. Kind of a fun thing to look at as Pittsburgh Central Catholic has the number 1 spot. We saw the Avonworth Antelopes last week, a 3A school. They're in the number 8 spot. Pine Richland checking in at 25, being told that I asked Carlo, I said, okay, Bishop Canevin, Cornell, where do they stand? And he goes in the next 25. But he wouldn't be specific in where it was. So just a fun thing that we've been looking at all season long.
And it's good to see the house, Westinghouse, up there in the top 20. During my days of coaching, we scrimmaged them every year. Coach Webb, a legend. At Westinghouse.
That's the one thing I say to Carlo every week. I'm like, Westinghouse isn't in the Whitfield, and this is the Whitfield Top 25. And he goes, we got to give the City League some love.
No question.
3rd down 10 for the Crusaders. Trips out to the far side. Ball resting at the 38. Olszewski back to pass. Rolling here to the near side. He's going to take off and run with it, and he'll have the first down right at the sticks.
Gonna be close.
Olszewski is right there. First down is the signal from the officials. So the receivers run the defenders off, and the quarterback runs to the vacant spot of the field.
I'd say not so quick. I'd ask for a measurement if I was Cornell. Yeah.
They were quick to move the sticks there.
Yeah, and with no hash marks on the field, that's a pretty good guess from across the field.
Trips go to the far side. Olszewski into the belly of the tailback Carter. And Carter's into Cornell territory to the 44. 2nd down and 2 coming up. They're going to go no huddle here with the Crusaders.
It's a big series for Cornell.
And this is going to be encroachment, is the call from the far sideline. The play was blown dead. Not often you get that neutral zone infraction on the defensive side.
Right. But, in high school football, unlike other levels, it stops the play.
Right.
If you watch a pro game, once they see that flag for defensive offside, they're throwing the ball deep because there's nothing to lose.
You get a free play. That doesn't exist in high school.
Exactly. A lot of things are free in the NFL that are not free in high school.
Speaking of, it is our partnership with the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. Thank you for everyone who voted in our Fan Choice Week. Cornell Bishop Canevin doing a great job. It was out in the community. Canevin was doing videos on social media. It was just cool to see. So everyone blowing things up on Facebook. Well, this is going to be a give it, then take it away. Is this going to be a false start penalty on Canevin? So they're going to give the 5 they just got back. Of course, the Steelers do a great job at covering high school football and their showcase every week.
Yes. If there's any positive about this exchange for Cornell, it was 2nd down and 2 for Bishop Canevin when they got the 5-yard penalty, the game first down. But now this penalty, a 5-yard, makes it 1st and 15. So Cornell benefited a little bit from that little exchange there.
Yep, back to the 44-yard line it is. Olszewski sets up the screen pass to the far side. It's completed. Monte Mott on the far side. There is a flag down, and as he got popped.
They're gonna call holding on the wideout. Was holding the defensive back.
Holding call against the Crusaders moves things back here.
And that was a good call by the official because that hold definitely had an impact on the play. You know, sometimes when you get a little nitpicking hold in the center of the line and the play runs wide, you sort of question the need for that call. But that one, without question, was at the spot of the play. The spot of the foul was right where the play was developing.
It's first down at 20. Back at the 44-yard line of Bishop Canevin now. Olszewski will send 4 wide receivers out in this formation. Jet motion, Cross is going to throw it. Throwing down the, got his man, but in and out of the hands. Oh, Tyjair Clayton had it and then lost it. It was on the button from the former quarterback, Jason Cross, who has 2 receiving touchdowns. Almost could have thrown one for a touchdown, but instead it's incomplete and it's second down.
Yeah, good play call, good execution, just didn't hang on to the football. But that happens.
Cross mentioned going to WVU. The last time a Bishop Canevin player signed with the FBS College, way back in 1980, linebacker Paul Dara and Gene Cacciola both signed with Temple. Legendary coach Bob Jacoby was the coach at Canevin back in 1980. But shout out to the last time they had an FBS player. Is Olszewski going to set up another screen pass, but overthrown. I don't think Carter was able to sneak out far enough.
And Matt, now that you bring that up, I don't know if the years are correct, but when I was at Louisville, Ron Dickerson was an assistant coach. Well, then he became the head coach at Temple, and he's from Coriopolis.
There's the
now whether
connection.
He was the coach in 1980 that recruited these young men, that I don't know.
Wow, that would be the connection.
Yes,
of all connections there. Third down coming up here, and a timeout taken by Bishop Canevin with a minute to play. We have more football for you tomorrow here on KDKA Plus Division III football as Allegheny takes on W&J. 2 o'clock kickoff from the home of the Presidents. Right back here on KDKA Plus. Austin Bechtold on the call, and I'll be moseying on the sidelines tomorrow for Allegheny and W&J.
My youngest played at W&J, and I spent a few Saturdays down there with Coach Sirianni. They have a great program. And I think Allegheny's having a good year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that it should be an interesting matchup for sure. And that we'll have tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Back here on KDKA Plus. It is a football full weekend all throughout the fall on KDKA Plus. High school football on Friday nights and college football throughout Saturday, whether it be Saturday afternoon. Last week it was Saturday night. Out of the timeout, Canevin with a 3rd down and 20. Have to imagine, Rick, they're going to test something downfield again here.
Well, either that or they're going to try to get a chunk of this yardage back to give themselves a chance on 4th down.
Cross out of the Wildcat. Now he'll look to throw. Roll to his left. Cross is going to take off and run with it. He has open room to go, and it'll be leveled out of bounds. And there's a flag that's going to give Bishop Canevin a 1st down. Take a look at this again. Man, it's just fun to see Cross get out in space. Yeah.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. It was an unnecessary hit, but it wasn't much of a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is football. And the object is to hit somebody on the other side.
But he was giving up, Rick. You know, that's the new terminology.
All right.
Giving himself up.
And I guess he did line up at quarterback, right? So he gets extra protection.
Well, yeah, that's also true. 1st down and 10 from the 22-yard line now. Motion out of the slot. As Marshall back to pass.
Wow.
Olszewski throwing near side, got his man. It's Clayton. Clayton thrown to the grass here at Cornell. As Ashton Jones, a nice sure tackle in the open field.
Now I have to see the replay, but it sure looked to me like the man in motion was moving forward when the ball was snapped. But
back to pass, Olszewski. Rolling out, pressure comes in, ball comes out, ball's loose, and the ball's rolling out of bounds. Oh man, if Cornell did not know that that was going to be a live ball, there is a flag down, but I believe that was ruled a fumble.
yes, I agree with you.
Walter Claret had some pressure in on Olszewski. Holding is the call.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. I think that was a live ball. And certainly what you want to do is pick the ball up and let the referee tell you, no, it's not a live ball.
Right.
Because a fumble like that on the sideline could end up going back the other way.
I mean, he did try to fling his arm forward, so there would be an argument whether or not that was a fumble or an incomplete pass. Either way, it's not going to mean anything as the holding call is going to be marked off, and it's going to be second down and long and more. Bishop Canevin feels like they've worn a patch in this 40 to 20-yard range. Olszewski will look to throw deep into the end zone. It is intercepted. Keys in the end zone. Picked off.
Who was that? Number 10? 10? 10? Pass was intercepted by number 10.
Damian Blackwell on the interception. The young man comes up with it. And Cornell fends off another Bishop Canevin threat late here in the first half with 5 seconds to go. This bend but don't break Cornell defense. They've broken twice, but they've held strong now 3 times with Canevin pushing forward here, Rick.
That was a big stop, especially with number 2 for Bishop Canevin lurking. Because, in that situation, throwing the ball up to him can turn into points. But good play by the defender, kept his eyes on the football, and stopped them from scoring.
Knee down will take us to the break. Bishop Canevin leads Cornell 14-7. Coming up at the break, we will have the Carlos Zofko and Whitfield Insiders top 10 plays. And Hannah Mears is downstairs with... Let's go downstairs to Hannah.
Coach, there was a ton of emotion on that last drive before the half. Can you just explain to me what you were trying to execute with your offense?
Oh, man, fundamental football, man. Fundamental football. We had a chance to win last week at the last second. We wanted to get better at that. Unfortunately, we couldn't put it in the end zone, man, but I'm happy how my guys are fighting today.
Defensively, how do you keep Cornell off the scoreboard in the second half?
Physicality. They're coming straight downhill trying to run us off. They got some big receivers, so, they're trying to throw it up, so we got to figure out. We got to get some more pressure. We got to stay together as a team and stay together as a staff.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Matt?
Thanks, Hannah, and thanks, Coach Rich Johnson of Bishop Canevin. As we come back, it will be this Hill City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine halftime show, as Hannah Mears will host as Cornell trails Bishop Canevin tonight at Coriopolis 14-7. And we will be back with our halftime show right after this here on KDKA Plus.
Sure, I'll be there at 5 a.m. I can binge one more episode.
Let's face it, you don't always set yourself up for success.
5 more minutes. Where are my work shoes?
But GBU Life makes it easy with life insurance and annuity products to help secure your future, so you have the freedom to do more of what you love.
Congratulations! Retiring early must be nice. What are you going to do first?
I think I'll sleep in.
Secure your future today. Visit gbu.org.
La Roche University set me up for success. When I went to La Roche to visit, it stole my heart.
I transferred to LaRoche because my original school just didn't work out. LaRoche, I was able to be on the basketball team. They had majors I wanted, and financial aid and their assistance helped out a lot.
LaRoche students have access to it all: the culture and connections in Pittsburgh and a residential campus in the North Hills. Tour campus and you'll receive a $250 visit grant. Learn about our fall events at laroche.edu.
Most individuals, when they have an injury, they want to get back immediately, whether that is getting back to work or getting back to sport or getting to their next yoga workout. We really want to give them pain-free function and mobility as best we can for the extent of their lives, so they can be active, so they can enjoy being with their loved ones.
Here at Loway, we have a pretty vast array of customizable promotional products, from pens, signs, mugs, water bottles, really anything you can think of. Some of the main services we provide here are screen printing, embroidery, and promotional products. What really sets us apart from our competitors is our on-staff design crew and our customer service. We can really help take your branding and marketing to a new level. The main thing you can expect from us here at Loway is quick turnaround times and a really high-quality product.
Trout Plumbing is a registered and insured master plumber that services the South Hills. They offer a variety of services, including camera inspections and dye testing. Trout Plumbing also offers a veteran and senior citizen discount. When in doubt, call the Trout at 412-983-8106.
Pittsburgh. Its long and proud heritage is beautifully preserved in the awe-inspiring buildings that surround it, in the places where we live, where we worship, and where we play. One company has been awarded the challenge of restoring all that great heritage for nearly 75 years. Mariani and Richards, restoring the heritage, preserving the pride.
Welcome into our Steel City High School Football Showcase halftime. I'm Hannah Mears. This is presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. We are at Cornell as they take on Bishop Canevin. It's been a tight one so far, but Bishop Canevin has the lead going in at half. And hey, the fans voted for us to be here this week. And fans, we appreciate your support all year long of our showcase, but we wanted to update you in case you're following along with our schedule. On October 20th, we will now be traveling to Upper St. Clair as they welcome Moon. So that is a schedule change for you. The Steel City High School Football Showcase is excited to be there, but on October 20th, mark your calendars, Moon versus Upper St. Clair. Now it's time for everyone's favorite time of the week. It's our WPIAL Insider Halftime with Carlos Zovko. Take a look as he breaks down the top 10 plays from last Friday.
Welcome back to the WPIAL Insider Show presented by Vrandro Construction. I am your host and WPIAL Insider, Carlos Zovko. Week 5 is in the books, and I might say so myself, this was probably the best week for our top 10 plays countdown. You will get to see some of the best plays in the WPIAL, maybe even the play of the season this year. Let's get right into the countdown. At number 10, it's the 6-0 TJ Jaguars, and they're going to go with their man number 6, Jason Salmon, with a pick 6. All sorts of sixes for TJ this week. TJ goes on to win this one big. Coming in at number 9, all Latrobe does is score defensive touchdowns. The Latrobe Wildcats making the list yet again. This time it's junior linebacker Alex Tash with another pick 6. Tash and the Wildcats go on to beat Trinity. At number 8, it was the 1A game of the year for Cherry versus Bishop Canevin. And guess what? It was the Matt Siggs show. He's been all over our top 10 plays. The super sophomore with 7 touchdowns accounted for this game against Bishop Canevin. And guess what? This isn't the last time you're going to see the Fort Cherry Rangers on this week's list. More from this one coming up. At number 7, Armstrong's going to make this list after their huge win versus North Catholic last week. The freshman, Jaden Oliver, hits wide receiver Chase Jablonski, who mosses the defender. Big win for Armstrong. At number 6, we're going to number 5 from Avonworth. It's the senior playmaker Andrew Cuban who takes the Wildcat snap to the house versus West Mifflin. He won't be denied. The Lopes are still undefeated. It's time to take a break and thank our sponsor, Franjo Construction. Franjo Construction, Western Pennsylvania's leader in commercial construction. Nestled in the heart of Homestead, Pennsylvania, this family-owned business is a beacon of trust and reliability. Recognized as the industry's go-to general contractor, Franjo isn't just about building structures, it's about building relationships. Every project is unique, and their integrated approach ensures that your visions come to life, executed perfectly. As a rapidly growing organization, Franjo is dedicated to seeking the best talent who thrive in a fast-paced and challenging environment. Franjo values the importance of quality craftsmanship and strives to employ individuals who prioritize enhancing their professional careers as well as themselves. Franjo offers top-notch training that ensures your success. Become a part of the Franjo family and reap the benefits of competitive wages, 401k, excellent benefits, and paid time off. Franjo Construction, uniting our team and customers to build the future. Apply today. Back to the action at number 5, and it was a huge game in 4A as Mars played Highlands, and Coach Kasparowicz and the Mars Fighting Planets, their special teams had a big game. The first clip here is Coach Kasper's son, Eric Kasparowicz Jr., taking the first kickoff to the house. Then, later, wide receiver Gabe Hine takes another one to the house. Mars goes on to beat Highlands in a huge game. The Fighting Planets having a great year. At number 4, we're going to another Saturday game. This time, it was Shaler versus Woodland Hills. And boy, these two super sophomores from Woodland Hills really did ruin the Shaler homecoming. It's super sophomore Cam Walters finding his go-to playmaker Scoop Smith. The Wolverines go on to dominate the Titans. Look out for Woodland Hills this year. At number 3, I told you we were coming back to this game. The Fort Cherry Rangers are back at it. This time, it's super sophomore Matt Sig rolling to his right, finding Ethan Filetto, who catches the tip pass and takes it all the way to the house. Fort Cherry, in a huge win in single A here, goes on to beat Bishop Canevin and takes the number 1 seed away from them. At number 2, we're showing some love to the big guys. It's the South Park junior Parker Cunningham. He plays offensive tackle and he plays defensive end. He's big number 77. He has 2 interceptions at 2 crucial moments in the game. South Park would go on to beat Seton LaSalle, but this isn't the last time we're going to see this game on this list. And at number 1, it's Seton LaSalle's freshman phenom, Khalil Taylor. Power 5 schools are offering this kid all over, and it's not hard to see why. He takes the kickoff. He's going to loop back and forth. He can't be tackled. He's going to take this one all the way to the score. Although South Park wins the game, Seton LaSalle has the top highlight and maybe the play of the year. That'll do it for the Whippio Insider Show presented by Franjo Construction. I'm having a great time doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. I am your host and Whippio Insider, Carlo Zofko, and I'll be seeing you next week.
Thanks so much, Carlo. Great work as always. Congratulations to all of the players who made the Whippio Insider Top 10. For more information and all of the exclusive insight into high school football, make sure you follow Whippio Insider on their social medias. But make sure you follow the Steel City High School Football Showcase on social media as well for the full sights and sounds video. But here's a preview of everything that we saw and heard on Friday Night Lights last week.
In Ohio Township tonight, high above Lensner Field, getting ready for Avonworth and West Mifflin in the Steel City High School Football Showcase. Kicking for the Lopes, who will send it the way of the Titans. Carson Bellinger, the quarterback, a little play action, will throw near side. Intercepted and picked off. Joseph Fleming, the quarterback. Joseph Fleming back into the belly of Delron White, and White down the far sideline. Delron, touchdown Titans. Trips to the near side. Bellinger rolls this way. Looks, throws down the numbers, and it's intercepted. Fleming with the pick.
Got to be a little bit more protective of the football. 2 turnovers already. You don't want to give West Mifflin more opportunities to get the football, and you definitely don't want to give them a short field.
Motion, Belisarius keeping is Cuban, and he breaks free. Cuban into the end zone. A leaping dive into the sea of red. Touchdown, Avonworth. It's that Wildcat. Cuban keeping. Cuban says, I'll take it all in one play. Touchdown, Avonworth, 29 yards for the Lope touchdown. Lopes. Belisarius getting the carry and getting into the end zone. Sucking time tonight. And the 10th time this season for Dimitri Belisarius. Obviously need Delron healthy as they go back to the freshman. And Hill breaks a tackle and Hill's into the end zone. Touchdown, West Mifflin. Takes a knee, and that's your ball game. Avonworth moving to 6-0 on the year. 3-0 in the Western Hills Conference. They sit atop of it.
Woo, I don't know about you guys, but those sights and sounds are getting me ready for some second half action, but we're not there just yet. Stay tuned with us after the break on the Steel City High School Football Showcase halftime show presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. We'll be right back.
I'm Andy Sheehan. I'm the lead investigator with KDKA Investigates. I live in Pittsburgh. I've raised my kids here. For decades now, I've worked trying to uncover wrongs. We looked at the quality of water here. We found dangerous levels of lead in the water. We dug further. The city's water authority took action. Today, they have replaced more than half of the lead service lines throughout the entire city of Pittsburgh. We uncover a problem, we get answers, positive change for you and your family.
Good job, excellent job, okay? That was tough competition, but it was good competition. It shows you what we need to work on. You can't give up, okay? And you never have. You've never made excuses. So we just get back in, we get in the trenches, we play 2 games tomorrow, and then we see what we end up with. Got it? Yes. All right. 1, 2, 3.
La Roche University set me up for success. When I went to La Roche to visit, it stole my heart.
I transferred to La Roche because my original school just didn't work out. La Roche, I was able to be on the basketball team. They had majors I wanted, and financial aid and their assistance helped out a lot.
La Roche students have access to it all: the culture and connections in Pittsburgh and a residential campus in the North Hills. Tour campus and you'll receive a $250 visit grant. Learn about our fall events at laroche.edu.
This Saturday, tune in to KDKA Plus for D3 college football as the Allegheny Gators face off against the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. This Saturday at 2 p.m., only on KDKA Plus.
You can now get more local news on KDKA Plus. More breaking news.
Residents are being asked to stay outside of their house.
More community stories. More weather.
A couple of funnel clouds were spotted.
Weekdays at 12:30 on KDKA Plus.
Maya, can you come in here, please?
Already. Yeah, Dad, what's up?
Is that your brother on the TV?
Yeah, that's my brother. It looks like it's tonight's game.
But how can that be your brother? I have never missed a single game.
We couldn't go tonight. Remember, you broke your foot.
Right. Well, I don't know who's putting on this production, but without them, I'd be missing this.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur, a dreamer with a passion for success? With Koza Law Group, your journey starts now. Whether you're dreaming of a small startup or envisioning a global empire, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Starting a business shouldn't be scary. It's about embracing the spirit of innovation, taking calculated risks, and believing in your potential to make a difference. We are more than just legal advisors. We are redefining legal services. Contact us today to experience the Koza Law difference.
Welcome back into the Steel City High School Football Showcase halftime show presented by UPMC. I'm Hannah Mears, and we are so close to second half action. But first, we want to recognize a member of the Steelers All-Peer team. The Pittsburgh Steelers have partnered with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and the Mentoring Partnership to create an all-peer team featuring 11 high school football players. This week's recipient is Drew Hairston, Sarah Catholic High School senior offensive tackle and defensive end. Drew is an outstanding student athlete with a, get this, yes, a 5.0 GPA. Drew's efforts in the classroom have motivated his teammates to put more emphasis on being a better student athlete. As a leader of the offensive line, he knows everyone's duties and communicates them well. Drew has won several class medals for top academic standing to go along with his on-field honors. Now, in honor of the Pittsburgh Steelers High School Football Showcase Game of the Week, also being a part of the fan vote in partnership with the Steel City High School Football Showcase, I know Matt Fargo has a very special guest that's going to be joining him in the booth in the third quarter. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about who's going to be up there sharing the stage with you?
Yeah, that's right, Hannah. Yeah, we are going to have a special guest that is a Super Bowl champion and has Whitfield roots. So I'm going to make you chew on that, and you guys at home can guess on who we may be joining us here in just a little bit. But we're back alongside Rick Mancini here at halftime. The Bishop Canevin Crusaders have the advantage right now by the score of 14-7. And Rick, I have to say, Cornell, that huge stop there before the break, that was imperative to stay into this game and keep it a one-score game.
No question, because the way things were going, it looked like Bishop Canevin was certainly going to put more points on the board. But they did a good job. They hung in there. They had the help of a couple penalties, but they made some great plays. And, of course, the interception in the end zone was very big.
Very big. Let's take a look at the first half statistics. The total yards, pretty close. Cornell, a slight advantage, 98-88. Both teams have 8 first downs. Bishop Canevin has that one turnover in the back of the end zone to end, really, the first half of play. But here's where both coaches are going to go crazy. 87 penalty yards for Canevin, 72 for Cornell. That's 159 total penalty yards as we take a look at the first half highlights. And it was a defensive stalemate until Cornell, C.J. Jackson hooks up with Mikey Keys for the first score of the ball game. Cornell getting on the board with a tremendous catch here.
And a great throw. The quarterback was running to his left, and as a right-handed thrower, that's a tough throw, and he made a great throw, and obviously a great catch.
Yes, and then it was Jason Cross on a crossing pattern. 2 touchdown catches for the WVU commit. Our guest, here's another hint, will really appreciate that, as then it was Bishop Canevin throwing the interception that inevitably ended the first half. Cornell cutting off an opportunity there for Bishop Canevin to take a 2-score advantage. Now it's 14-7, and we'll have second half action. But as I said, a Super Bowl champion with WPIAL and Morgantown roots will join us on the back half of this break. Cornell trails Bishop Canevin. It's the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. We're back on KDKA Plus after this.
Panera's You Pick 2 means when part of you wants crispy, crunchy, fresh, and part of you wants melty, smoky, peppery. Both U's win big. You pick 2 and get more. Cater your next event with Panera.
Fall is in the air at Pittsburgh's premier outdoor shopping, dining, and play destination, the Waterfront. Find fall weather gear at retailers like Old Navy, DSW, and Rally House. Dine at family-friendly restaurants like Primanti Brothers, Shorty's Tap and Taco, and more. Experience indoor playtime at Dave & Buster's, Urban Air, and more. Speaking of play, the Waterfront is a proud sponsor of this Steel City High School football broadcast and happy to support WPIAL football across our region. Visit us at waterfrontpgh.com for more information.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
I can show you the good now, but you're not going to understand how good it is until you know where I came from. Teen mom, dropped out of high school. I came across UPMC's Pathways to Work program, and my life changed 100%. I didn't know that I had these skills. UPMC brought it out of me. And now it's like the light just kind of starts shining.
Tune in this Friday to the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine as the Penn Hills Indians take on the Central Catholic Vikings. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+. Are you ready?
Welcome back to the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. And here at halftime, joined by a very special guest. He had a great run of the WPIL with the McKeesport Tigers, went on to WVU, and then won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Logan up here in the booth with us. Happy to join us. And, Mike, thanks so much for taking some time out. It's the Steelers High School Football Showcase Game of the Week as well, so you're getting to take in a little bit of Friday Night Lights. I'm sure it's taking you back to your days at McKeesport.
It is definitely taking me back, and that is some decades ago that we weren't going to talk about right now. And everybody reminded me of that as I walked into the stadium.
No question about it. So we want to remind you about it. We want to throw it back to 1991. We got some highlights back in the day when Mike Logan was running around for the McKeesport Tigers. Let's take a look at some of these moments back in your day. And what do you most remember back of playing? And we were talking about the Quad East was just a gauntlet. How about this guy?
Look at that high top fade and that stuff. I had some speed, though. I got a little bit of speed right there. But these memories are everlasting, man. I mean, look at this. Look at the grainy field. Look at the old uniforms. I mean, this is really, really taking me back. A great time in my life, something that I will remember for the rest of my life, man.
No question about it. Not to mention the fact that you guys were pretty good back then as well. Won the Quad East that year.
Yeah, we played against some tough talent in that Quad East, but it's seeing guys like number 32, Dennis Robinson, number 52, Jason Chavis. Those were childhood friends that I got to grow up with and play football with and accomplish some great things. And we still celebrate those things as we fellowship together in this day.
He had 2,153 yards. Bringing it back in the day, but back in here in the booth. Pretty cool to be able to look back on those days. But something I want to ask you. We're 23 in some of those highlights, then moved over to 31. I know the history of why you love 31. Did that end up happening that year? How did you end up deciding to move back to 31?
It was total coincidence how that 31 came about, though. They ripped my jersey in half, and they couldn't get it back together. And I said, hey, give me 31. So when I went to school and went on to the pros, when I came back to Pittsburgh, I couldn't get 32. And I didn't want 31, but they said Mr. Shell would love for you to wear that number. So that's how 31 came about.
Very, very cool to be able to do it. Now to be putting on the white lines, what do you take in from the first half here? Cornell, Bishop Canevin, single A football. You played in a larger classification, but this does have a small-town high school football feel to it, doesn't it?
Great atmosphere, great game. I like that the defense is out here hitting. It's physical game. Nice stop right before the half. So I'm enjoying the defensive stuff right there. But I also seen Jason Cross, number 2, who's a Let's Go Mountaineers. He's having a great game out there as well.
No, it's always nice to see the WVU connection for sure. And he's been putting on a show to this point in it. Now with what you've done in high school, moving on to college, you're a WVU Hall of Famer.
Right.
What was the thought when you were in high school to think about moving on to the professionals? Was that something set in your mind, or is that something that just needed to gradually come to end up making it to the National Football League?
It wasn't set in my mind, but my coaches were instrumental in changing my mindset. And they were the ones who told me that I had the talent and I needed to do what was required for me to make it to that level. So it took a lot of groundwork and a lot of people trusting in me sometimes when I wasn't trusting in myself to make that come to fruition.
Instrumental. You had one of the best all-time coaches in all the WPIAL. What do you know most or remember most about Mr. Smith?
George Smith was the guy who told me, don't be a knucklehead and you'll be playing on Saturdays. And I want to say rest in peace to Coach Gary Christian, who passed away this past week.
Absolutely. Rest in peace to him. Mike's going to hang out with us for a little bit as we get things back underway. It is the second half kickoff. Bishop Canevin returns it just over the 35 to the 36-yard line. They get the football first, and that means that this do-everything offense with Bishop Canevin, Rick, back out on the field, and with that WVU guy, Mr. Cross, certainly going to be lurking out there somewhere right now.
Well, obviously they figured out something they already knew, and that is when they need it, they're going to number 2. They put him in the backfield to take the snap and make a play, and, of course, they split him out and throw him the ball.
It's going to be first down and 10 for Bishop Canevin. You see Coach Johnson roaming the sidelines for the Crusaders. They go slot and hand it off the left side. It's Carter, and Carter gets traced down quickly. Cornell defensive lineman Andre Morris on the tackle, and Hannah Mears has an update down to the sideline. Let's go down to her.
Guys, before this half started, Cornell broke the huddle saying finish. In order to get ahead and finish, Coach Dawson told me they just have to stay patient. They've had opportunities. They need better execution. He said if they can cut out the penalties and get in the red zone, it's a different ball game. He said, you know what, though? I love this kind of game. I'm a competitor, and competitors have to want to compete. So he is amped up to try to change the narrative in this second half, Matt.
Thanks, Hannah. First down after a penalty. Back to the It's going to be first down and 20 for the Crusaders. Olszewski from the shotgun, a sidecar to the left, full wide receiver set. And they give it again right back to Carter, and he's stacked up. This Cornell defense has come to play in the second half. Ashton Jones laying the lick on that one.
Well, I think throughout the game, Cornell has been good against the run. Where they've been getting hurt is whenever Bishop Canevin spreads them out and gets the ball to their skilled players. But obviously, coming into this half, I'm going to assume they made some adjustments to try to counteract what Bishop Canevin did successfully in the first half.
It'll be second down and long. And what did you like most about Mike playing offense, defense? You said you seeing a lot of those highlights were offensive highlights. You were scoring touchdowns back then.
I still had a defensive mentality, though. Yeah. Even on offense, I wanted to give some punishment to the defenders that were trying to stop.
Here's that defensive mentality. A pick for Cornell. What an interception. Kyle Johnson, the sophomore, pulled that off the grass.
That was a great catch. Great catch. And, you know, on that play, they were actually trying to throw the ball to Cross, running a flag route, a deep out, so to speak. And the defender was guarding somebody else, and he came off of who he was guarding to make the play.
Just a terrific use of the hands there. And Cornell getting a big play defensively. Mike, gotta love that.
Turnovers, gotta love it.
Right.
Turnovers, get the ball to your offense and let them go out and score.
It's going to be first down and 10 from the 44-yard line. C.J. Jackson and the Raiders. Pitch right side. Johnson got the pick. Now he has the football again and goes to the far sideline, and right at the boundary, he gets licked. As Ajon Marshall makes the tackle for Bishop Canevin, it's going to be second down after a pickup of just one.
Mike, you probably know if you run around with the football enough, you're going to get hit, right?
Oh, most definitely. But you know what? Sometimes you enjoy getting hit. Yeah. It fuels something in you when you get the ball again and you try to go out and make something happen.
That's a good point.
Second down, and they'll give them one, so second and 9 from the 43-yard line. Jackson from the pistol formation. Back to pass, slant route, in traffic, Mikey Keys. Right on cue, first down Raiders.
Nice throw and nice catch.
For a Raider, first down.
You know, the interior defender on that play, presumably a linebacker for Bishop Canevin, took a good break, made a good break there, but the pass beat him to the spot.
12 yards on the pass and catch. Mike, you would have just celebrated the 30-year anniversary or reunion for your graduating class last year. Did you get a chance to go back and see some old teammates?
I did. I had an opportunity to go back, see some teammates, and also got to go down to Morgantown and celebrate our 30-year reunion for our 1993 undefeated team.
Right up the middle, it's Jackson keeping on this one. Think about the Mountaineers this point. I know we're talking high school. We're now moving up to WVU ranks.
I think they were surprising some people this year. We really didn't know what we were going to get, but they've been putting it together. And I don't care what they do for the rest of the year. They won the backyard brawl. I have bragging rights for a year.
Second down and 6 for the Raiders. Jackson going to hand it off. Johnson breaks a tackle and pushes forward to the 20-yard line. It's a first down for Cornell.
For a Raider, first down.
That was a well-designed play, Matt. It was sort of a spin-off on what the old counter tray where you pull the backside guard and tackle. That time was the running backs who went from left to right and led the play to the deep back who took the handoff from the quarterback who was in the shotgun.
It's going to be first down and 10 here for the Raiders. 8:19 to play, third quarter action, 14-7. Cornell trying to tie things up here, trailing Bishop Canevin in our showcase. Wildcat formation as Walter Claret took the snap, then slipped and got back to the original line of scrimmage. Talking with Super Bowl champion Mike Logan up here in the booth. And Mike, being a WPIAL guy, we're talking off the air about how important that is to everybody and how it's just bigger than, you talk high school football anywhere that it's big, but WPIAL, there's something about it, isn't there?
There's something about it. I mean, this is two teams that I'm very unfamiliar with, but I'm still excited to be here in the atmosphere, getting involved in the game, getting excited for both teams. I mean, it's amazing what the Whitfield brings.
Second down and 10. Jackson back in, a quarterback going to sling it over the middle of the field. Got his man, it breaks free and into the end zone. Touchdown, Cornell! Julian Cordice, 20 yards. Jackson to Cordice, and we're an extra point away from being knotted up at 14.
You know what, Mike? I've been very impressed with the execution of the in routes that these teams are running. I mean, they throw the ball hard. They throw it on the spot. They're hitting the receivers in their numbers, and these guys are catching the football.
And CJ is slinging that thing, man. Jackson has like a Kenta Colby sidearm ball going in there. He's hitting the receivers coming on all the ends.
Well, you nailed it, Mike, because he's a baseball player here at Cornell, too. So extra point is no good. Miss Kenny Wade off the mark, but it will be a one-point ball game. But, Mike, thanks so much for taking the time out, and appreciate you joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Mike Logan joining us here on the Steel City Showcase. Take a break, and we'll come back right after this on KDKA+.
Around here in the fall, harvest moons, cool, crisp evenings, and on Friday nights, legends come alive in Pittsburgh. WPIAL High School Football. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Steel City Game of the Week. Allegiant salutes the players, the fans, the cheerleaders, and the parents. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union. 5 locations and a sponsor of this WPIAL High School Football broadcast.
Looking to escape a dead-end job? We can help. Apply at 2 Men in a Truck today for a good job that can become a great career.
This Saturday, tune in to KDKA Plus for D3 college football as the Allegheny Gators face off against the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. This Saturday at 2 p.m. only on KDKA Plus.
And we welcome you back here on the Steel City High School Football Showcase. The Bishop Canevin Crusaders are going to hang on to a 1-point advantage after the extra point being no good. But Cornell, they get the turnover and they get the quick score. Momentum, albeit the lead is still in Canevin's favor, but momentum, you have to say, on Cornell's side.
No question. Obviously, Bishop Canevin getting the kickoff to start the second half. I'm sure they had plans to move the ball down the field.
Bobbled around there, and here's the return across the 30. Monte Mono the return. There is a flag down on the play, and that has been the story. 159 penalty yards. Didn't get a whole lot of time to touch on it, Rick, but really something that both teams had to key on in the locker room, and I don't even know how you really adjust that with so many penalties being away from the play, and really have hurt both teams in trying to sustain a drive.
Well, no question about it. You can live with penalties of aggression where somebody is going all out, but some of the penalties they've had were senseless, and that's what hurts. And this was, I believe, a late hit out of bounds.
It's a personal foul on BC, and that'll be a 15-yard penalty, and this is going to start Canevin deep in their own territory. 7:13 to play here in the third quarter. Some scores from around the WPIAL. Central Catholic leads Pine Richland 16-14. Close one there. We'll see Central Catholic next week against Penn Hills. Peters Township leads Moon 13-7. Trinity leads Thomas Jefferson 14-0. Montour leads Central Valley 14-7. Your Beaver Falls Tigers, Rick, they lead Mohawk 12-7. And Upper St. Clair and Bethel Park are tied 7-7.
Big game for the Tigers tonight.
No doubt. Handoff to Carter, and there is nothing doing. And that was one of the things that Rich Johnson continued to say to me earlier this week was they got to get better trying to establish the run. They are great with the splash plays, and I said it earlier in the broadcast, got to get better at boring football, and that is it. Canevin has a 14-13 advantage right now because they had those big splash plays.
No question about it. And they've been executing well.
Olszewski, we were talking about baseball earlier, also one of the key cogs in the WPIL champion baseball team for Bishop Canevin. One of their pitchers. Played in the Pony League World Series just a few years ago, did the starting quarterback for the Crusaders. Back to pass here, near side cross, in and out of the hands. A uncharacteristic drop from number 2, and he pats his chest saying that one was on me.
Well, there's no doubt that was on him because the ball hit him right in his hands. But be that as it may, he was just trying to take off before he had the ball. I have a feeling that he'll make up for that play before long.
If he hasn't already.
Yes.
2 touchdown receptions for number 2, and if it wasn't for one of his other receivers when he was throwing the football, he could have a 3rd touchdown, albeit with his arm. Hannah Mears telling us earlier that he led Canevin in passing all time, and Olszewski just passed him up just tonight.
Wow, that's something.
3rd down, 12. Back to pass, Olszewski. Throwing far side, 1st down. Trying to shrug off one, and he is able to. Gets a couple more over the 40-yard line. That's Sean Marshall on the reception that picks up 21 yards.
And that, Matt, was a version of what we used to call a smash route, where you send a receiver deep, and then a receiver running parallel with him breaks off shorter than him. And they were able to clear the secondary out and create the open space. Very well-designed play and a really good throw.
And a 1st down for Bishop Canevin. They'll go trips near side. 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. High snap handled by Oskowski as he handed it off to the right side to Carter. Carter over the 45-yard line to the 47. And it's going to be about 3 yards shy of a 1st down, but things are starting to open up here for this Bishop Canevin offense. High snap, Olszewski puts it into the belly of Carter one more time. And Cornell responds this time. Forward progress may give him a yard.
Well, Cornell's doing a good job of getting people to the football. Anytime there's been anything run between the tackles, they have a gang tackle mentality, and they're coming after the football.
Phil Barker on the tackle for Cornell. It's 3rd down and 2. As Olszewski getting the play from the near side and back into the Bishop Canevin huddle. Third down. Another handoff, and Cornell is there, responding to the handoff to Carter. Phil Barker was first on the scene, and then help arrived.
That play was attributed to one word: pursuit. Pursue the football, because it looked like the defender had the running back right away, but then he was able to shake loose. But it was the pursuit of the rest of the defense. They didn't let up, and they came and made the tackle. Big play. And you know what? And they're making wholesale changes here, Matt. Special teams from offensive special teams. That's pretty impressive for a Class A team.
4th down and 6. Punt unit is out here for Canevin. This one's going to roll inside the 30 and be touched down there as McFitridge punt down, and Cornell trailing by 1. We'll get the ball back when we come back after this timeout on the Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine on KDKA+.
Tune in this Friday to the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine as the Penn Hills Indians take on the Central Catholic Vikings. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+. Are you ready?
You can now get more local news on KDKA Plus. More breaking news.
Residents are being asked to stay outside of their house.
More community stories. More weather.
A couple of funnel clouds were spotted.
Weekdays at 12:30 on KDKA Plus.
Pittsburgh. Its long and proud heritage is beautifully preserved in the awe-inspiring buildings that surround it. In the places where we live, where we worship, and where we play. One company has been awarded the challenge of restoring all that great heritage for nearly 75 years. Mariani and Richards, restoring the heritage, preserving the pride.
I started working out with my dad when I was 12 years old. He said, "While everybody else is sleeping, you up working. It's gonna pay off for you." Biggest decisions I ever had to make my junior year. I had my daughter at the time, so, I'm like, I gotta provide. I had the opportunity to leave early. I had to make a decision. Was I gonna leave or was I gonna come back to college for an extra year? I'm about to cry talking about this shit. Once I made that decision to come back, my mindset wasn't just to be good, it was to be great.
Welcome you back here to the Showcase. High school football tonight on KDKA Plus. With Rick Mancini, I'm Matt Fargo. We got Hannah Mears downstairs. Cornell trailing by 1. They get the ball back, and they're back to work offensively with some moxie behind them right now. Carey picks up 2, maybe 3, as Johnson gets the carry.
I think at this point in the game, it's important for Cornell to be able to move the sticks a little bit. If nothing else, if they can't get the ball down the field and stick it in the end zone, if they can change field position, that would be big.
Yeah, maybe back Bishop Canevin up like they were their last drive. 2nd down, 7 from the 31-yard line. Jackson throwing to the far side, sliding down there at the 35-yard line. It is completed to Dre Newton. Newton picks up a couple on 2nd down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4. The 35-yard line.
One thing, Matt, that I think has been pretty impressive on both sides of the ball, both offense and defense, these kids have good hands. They catch the football.
Man, I just keep taking myself back to that Johnson INT earlier. Just an incredible catch.
No doubt.
3rd down. Canevin fans into it. Defensive chant going on here. Back to pass. Jackson and his receiver slipped. He had beat him down the far sideline, but Newton had slipped. Boy, that would have been 6 if Newton caught that in stride. Instead, it will be 4th down. Canevin forcing the punt unit to come out for Cornell.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but it was a good play. And Cornell does a good job of spreading the field to get those one-on-one situations. And by spreading the field the way they do, they're able to keep Cross away from where they're throwing the football.
Fourth down, 3. Thought about maybe faking it to Johnson, and then he punts it away. Cross is going to field this on a hop at the 30, 40, midfield, Cross to the 40. And it's just been a tough go of it special teams-wise for Cornell tonight, because whether they're not gotten off a good punt, and it was a 30-yard return there for Cross, that's one or the other. It's been a great return or a bad punt, and either way, you're giving the other team good field position, and Ole Miss makes you think the way things are going to go for it because of where the field position has ended up.
Well, you know, Cross being the tremendous talent he is, when he can get the ball in the open field, he's going to be dangerous. And kickoffs and punts are one of the best ways to get the ball in the open field.
No doubt. First down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Handoff left side, Carter. Marquise Carter, flag is down, and there's some clapping in blue and gold.
There is a flag on the play.
Black Hills Conference action in single A tonight. Cornell checking into this Friday night as one of 10 remaining undefeated teams in the WPIAL.
Holding on Bishop Canevin.
Another team in the conference was also one of those 10 in the Fort Cherry Rangers. Canevin fell to the Rangers last week in a shootout. It's a 48-41 game. Canevin 4-1 overall, 2-1 in the conference. Cornell 6-0, 2-0 in the conference. So that's how important this one is as we hit the back half of the WPIL regular season tonight. Carter gets the carry off the left side, and he is stood up at the line of scrimmage and then pushed backwards. 52, Phil Barker in your Cornell program.
That play was tough, running into the short side of the field like that with the pursuit that Cornell was showing up front. It was going to be tough to make that play work. But, you know, oftentimes when you're calling plays, you're thinking ahead. So you run one play to set up another one. So let's see what comes next to see if that was the case there.
Second down, 22 to go for Bishop Canevin. High snap over the head of Olszewski. It's bobbled around, and it's still loose. Cornell, did they get to it? No, Olszewski was able to get on it. All the way back inside the 40-yard line. We've seen both teams do this at just terrible moments in the ball game. Now this is going to be third down and forever for Bishop Canevin. They're going to have to go to 612 6th Avenue to get this first down at Coriopolis.
Yeah, well, sometimes you take for granted the snap, but in the shotgun, you can never take it for granted.
All right, that's the end of 3. We'll need a fourth to decide this one. Bishop, Canevin, and Cornell. The Crusaders have a 1-point lead over the Raiders. It's the Steel City High School Football Showcase. We're back to Franklin Terry Stadium for the fourth on KDKA+.
Panera's You Pick 2 means when part of you wants crispy, crunchy, fresh, and part of you wants melty, smoky, peppery. Both yous win big. You pick 2 and get more. Cater your next event with Panera.
We raised $5,000.
When you purchase life insurance and annuity products from GBU Life, you also have more opportunities to give back to your community. GBU matches donations you make up to $1,000 per member.
I have GBU Life Insurance. Oh, wow. I have a GBU youth policy. Whoa.
We've got GBU annuities. Hey!
Our $5,000 just turned into $10,000.
That's a lot of big checks.
Find out more at gbu.org.
When you step through that door or shake their hands, will you be prepared? When you stand up for a client or walk into that meeting, will you be ready to prove to them that you deserve to be there?
When you come to Washington and Jefferson, you will be.
Washington and Jefferson College. Are you ready?
I can show you the good now, but you're not going to understand how good it is until you know where I came from. Teen mom, dropped out of high school. I came across UPMC's Pathways to Work program, and my life changed 100%. I didn't know that I had these skills. UPMC brought it out of me. And now it's like the light just kind of starts shining.
This Saturday, tune into KDKA Plus for D3 college football as the Allegheny Gators face off against the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. This Saturday at 2 p.m. only on KDKA Plus.
High above Franklin Terry Stadium tonight at Coriopolis for our showcase game of the week presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. Both sides rocking right now at Franklin Terry Stadium. PA announcer Chad Hemmy's getting the Raider fans fired up for this big third down play, going deep to cross, and it's incomplete, and there's a flag. We will check the penalty. But I think, Rick, the second part of this play is what's going to end up being called. Yeah, there's...
You know, and I'm actually surprised it's not called more often because, as I said earlier in the game, nowadays it seems like the defensive backs are taught not to turn back and look at the football, but to play the receiver. And oftentimes in the eyes of the official, if you're not playing the ball and you're running into the receiver and impeding his progress, they're going to call interference. It was good coverage, and we've seen that type of coverage where they don't call it interference. But I think it's a legitimate call.
The crazy part about this, Rick, is it's still not first down. It's not an automatic first down. It's still third down and long, and now there's a penalty, and it's procedure. It's going to be 5 yards back on Canevin.
Now who is this on? Is this on them? So false start.
It's going to be third down and 17 as the conference ensues here with the Zebras. They're going to wave the flag off. So it'll be still third and 17 at the 37-yard line, or the 47-yard line. Still third down. Canevin with the 1-point advantage now here in the fourth. Olszewski with pressure. A flag is down, throwing, and got his receiver incomplete, though. Couldn't haul in the pass. Sean Marshall was all alone to make that catch and give Bishop Canevin a first down. It is fourth down, and even with the flag down, Bishop Canevin is putting their special teams unit on the field and has to assume that it's going to go against BC.
Yes, but the way the flag was thrown, often that's encroachment on the defense, but maybe not. That was a well-designed play, Matt. They did what they needed to do. Oh, you know, what they called there, I believe, was based on the formation. They had an outside receiver who was covered by the further outside receiver, which made the inside guy ineligible. So as soon as he went downfield, they threw the flag. But the flag was thrown awful quickly because if it wasn't a pass play, it wouldn't have been a penalty.
McFetridge will go back to punt for the Crusaders and try to pin Cornell deep. Bouncing up, taking a roll, and just shy of the 20-yard line is where this is marked down. Cornell gets the football down 1, 11:31 to go. I want to thank our Steel City High School Football Showcase sponsors, UPMC Sports Medicine, Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union, GBU Life, 2 Men in a Truck, Koza Law Group, Special Olympics Pennsylvania, Leeway Enterprises, Ready Premium Hydration, LaRoche University, Mariani and Richards Incorporated, Washington and Jefferson College, The Waterfront, Panera Bread, and Allegheny College. And a special shout out to Permane Brothers Moon Township. Thanks to Sam for hooking up our crew with some extra food tonight. Appreciate you, Sam, and Permane Brothers Moon Township.
Watch 44 on the blitz. Watch him on the blitz.
Throwing it in the screen. It's Johnson trying to move upfield, and he's going to be finally upended after a gain of 3 yards. As Cornell going to try to just pick their way. It does seem like that's what they're most comfortable with, is just the yards of 3 and 4 and 5 at a time.
No question about it. And as long as you're getting positive yards, that's what you want to do. But they need to, as the old coach from Kansas City Chiefs, Hank Stram, used to say, they need to matriculate the ball down the field.
Well, head coach Ed Dawson in his 9th season at Cornell was the coach of the final season before they joined the co-op in 2012, before he became an assistant coach at Quaker Valley. And I'll have more about Ed after this play. A 2nd down and 6 from the 26. Jackson going to dish it off on the option play. It's Cordice, and Cordice spins his way to the 30-yard line, and it's 3rd down upcoming here. But just to finish the thought on Dawson, because, Rick, I know you have some information with him being a member of Aliquippa's first state championship team back in 1991, and had a guy by the name of Ty Law on that team as well.
Yes, and a running back by the name of Chico Williams. And they were really good. And that's when I was coaching Beaver Falls, and we ended up in a 3-way tie with them for the conference title. They made their way all the way through the playoffs to the state championship. I believe the first state title for a Beaver County football team.
And kind of to make things all complete, Ed Dawson went on to play at Allegheny, which you can see here tomorrow on KDKA+.
It's just
3rd and 2. Option play, and they hand it off, and a great tackle. They go to Marshall, and Marshall gets bottled up, and it's going to move them back to the 29-yard line.
Cornell's been pretty good and pretty effective with running the option, and I'm a little bit surprised they didn't keep the ball and get it to the edge and run the quarterback keep pitch option, because they've done well with that. But, that play very well could be a 3-way read. The quarterback reads on the handoff to the fullback, then reads whether to keep it and reads whether to pitch it.
Under 10 minutes to go. Punt unit is out for Cornell.
Fake
punt. They fake it, and they are going to be short. Cornell is going to turn the ball over on downs. A fake punt by the Raiders. And Keys could not push it forward. So you take a look. Direct snap to Keys, and Bishop Canevin had that one perfectly defended.
No doubt.
No real chance to get around the corner there.
Well, that's one of those plays as a coach, when you call it, if it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't work, you have the home crowd upset with you. But no risk, no reward. Now they got to turn around and stop them.
Well, I think maybe the thought process is you probably need to score a touchdown anyway. So even if you give up a touchdown, you could play for OT potentially long term. But throwing over the middle, wide open for the touchdown. Olszewski hooks up with Jaden Lindsay for a 29-yard touchdown. One play, and Canevin has reclaimed a 7-point advantage.
And I guess if you're going to give up the touchdown, give it up quick. But what a great play, though. Another great throw and route and good catch by the receiver. Bishop Canevin is very impressive in the way they execute those deep in routes. Very impressive.
Extra point through the poles and good by Ryan McFettridge, as Bishop Canevin has now an 8-point advantage, 21-13. The Crusaders over the Raiders. We're back on KDKA Plus after this.
Fall is in the air at Pittsburgh's premier outdoor shopping, dining, and play destination, the Waterfront. Find fall weather gear at retailers like Old Navy, DSW, and Rally House. Dine at family-friendly restaurants like Primanti Brothers, Shorty's Tap and Taco, and more. Experience indoor playtime at Dave & Buster's, Urban Air, and more. Speaking of play, the Waterfront is a proud sponsor of this Steel City High School football broadcast and happy to support WPIAL football across our region. Visit us at waterfrontpgh.com for more information.
Around here in the fall, harvest moons, cool, crisp evenings, and on Friday nights, legends come alive in Pittsburgh. WPIAL High School football. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Steel City Game of the Week. Allegiant salutes the players, the fans, the cheerleaders, and the parents. Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union, 5 locations, and a sponsor of this WPIAL high school football broadcast.
At 2 Men and a Truck, we'll treat you and your belongings like we'd treat our own grandmas.
Here we go. Hi there. Hello there. Welcome.
Whether we're moving you across town or even across the country.
Tune in this Friday to the Steel City High School Football Showcase presented by UPMC Sports Medicine as the Penn Hills Indians take on the Central Catholic Vikings. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Franklin Terry Stadium, Steel City High School Football Showcase. Bishop Canevin leads it 21-13. Now an 8-point advantage. Crusaders back with Rick Mancini, Hall of Fame coach. Coached at Beaver Falls, played at Beaver Falls, played collegiately at Louisville, who they got the Fighting Irish tomorrow.
Big game tomorrow night. Big game.
Louisville undefeated.
Yes, big game, and that's our warm-up game for the Panthers the following week.
And here's a big return as Walter Claret delivers a stiff arm to get across the midfield stripe and set it up just shy of the 40-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Hannah Mears.
Matt, that last Bishop Canevin touchdown to Jaden Lindsay, I asked Coach about him as a wide receiver, and he said he has some starting experience, but he's been playing behind some great athletes through the years. One guy in particular was Xavier Nelson, who broke every school record in school history for that position. Now, Xavier is a true freshman starting at Waynesburg, took a kickoff 99 yards to the house in his first game last week. So Jaden Lindsay has no doubt had some great players to learn from, and he's capitalizing now that it's his time to shine, Matt.
There's no doubt about it as Jackson and Cornell going to go for a deep ball, and Mikey Keys almost came up with it. It goes incomplete, and Xavier Nelson, just a name that sounds familiar because he carved up the Olsh defense in the WPIAL championship game at Acrisure Stadium 2 years ago for Bishop Canevin's only their second WPIAL championship, the first one coming back in 1990. But that was really the coming out party for Bishop Canevin, getting a WPIAL championship. Now they've been to the championship the last 2 years, trying to make it a third in a row. And it's been a great job that Coach Rich Johnson has done at BC.
No question about it. They have a good-looking football team, and that was really good coverage by the corner on that play. And what I liked is he was looking back at the football. He had as much a chance to catch that as the receiver did.
That was the young man who caught the touchdown pass just moments ago in Lindsay. First down and 10 from the 44-yard line. It's Jackson on the keeper right side, and not much doing. Bishop Canevin. Davion Taylor tripping up Jackson after a pickup of 3. Talking about Rich Johnson in his fourth season at Bishop Canevin. Bishop Canevin had 4 head coaches in 4 years when Johnson took the helm. And the team went in the past 3 seasons prior to Johnson's arrival 7-23. Canevin has just lost 8 games in the last 4 seasons. But he attributes it to saying, now Bishop Canevin, there's an expectation of winning. There's pressure on the program to continue delivering wins.
That's quite a turnaround.
Third down and 7. Jackson pressured, was able to shrug it off, and will launch this one to the near sideline, and it is incomplete. Trying, what an effort there. Jackson just couldn't get Larry Lee, the intended receiver. This is a lot closer to a reception than I thought it would be.
That was a very athletic play by the quarterback. And the receiver just ran out of real estate. Otherwise, they make that completion. That was a great play. Obviously, he was under a lot of pressure. And as I said earlier, when you split 4 guys out, you're not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball because you don't have many left to block.
Cornell's punt unit is out. They're going to try to pin Canevin back, but the ever-dangerous cross in the back to receive the punt. This is another great punt by Johnson. Cross bobbles and muffs the punt, and Cross recovers it at the 10-yard line. Almost a gift to the Raiders. And Cross alertly picked up the football after taking a lick. Watch this again.
Ooh, he got crushed. Gone.
But man, if you're Walter Claret, he went for, as you should, the player. But little did he know the football was up for grabs.
Right, but he's going 100 miles an hour with the object of making a tackle, making a hit, and that's exactly what he did. And credit Cross for keeping his composure.
My goodness.
Yeah, when that ball was in the air, I'm thinking, uh-oh, we might be looking at another big return here.
Yeah.
But it worked out for Cornell. Now they got to make a stop.
With 8:09 to play here in the fourth quarter, an 8-point game. Cornell went down 13-6 with 30 seconds to go last week to Burgettstown. They were able to come back, get a score, and get the 2-point conversion to win the game 14-13. Here's another great ball game here at Frank Lettieri Stadium tonight in Coriopolis. Motion man and a handoff. They go to Carter, and Carter has a great head of steam. Picks up 7 yards.
One thing Bishop Canevin has done all night, Matt, is they have answered when they had to. And so the question right here is going to be, can they answer the change in momentum? Because Cornell had a little bit of momentum going there, and they have a chance now, if they can stop them, to get the ball back in decent field position. But Bishop Canevin, in executing their offenses, they're looking to move the sticks.
Olszewski breaks the huddle. Second down, 3. Ball at the 18-yard line. Cornell used a turnover to get back within 1. Motion man out of the slot. Then they go right back to Carter. And he doesn't have a whole lot, but he's going to have 3 yards right at the first down sticks. He went into that sea of blue. It's going to be good enough for a Canevin first down. Johnson took over that program. He only had middle school experience prior to coming to coaching at Bishop Canevin. He had middle school experience at East Allegheny, who he is an alumni of. And then he moved on and coached middle school ball at Baldwin.
Well, he obviously learned well wherever he was coaching.
I just think that's interesting, give coaches that maybe don't have the high school experience still an opportunity, and look what happens. First down and 10, Olszewski from the shotgun. There's a handoff with a flag down as Carter picks his way for 8, but it's going to come back. 6:24 to play.
Holding on Bishop Canevin.
That's a big call there because obviously they got a nice chunky yardage there on that first down run. All for naught, though. It's going to push them back, so gives Cornell another chance. But they need to come up with a big stop here because Bishop Canevin is getting ready to put this game away.
I didn't see what the negative was.
First down at 10, or now it's going to be first down at 20. Back to the 11-yard line. Olszewski gets the snap. Pressure comes, backing up. Olszewski escapes, and now he gets flattened and pulled down inside the 10-yard line. Ashton Jones, the junior, makes the tackle for the Raiders.
Yeah, very athletic play by Olszewski, avoiding the rush initially, but good pursuit by Cornell and finishing the job.
I beg your pardon, that was Walter Claret on the tackle for Cornell.
It looked like they wanted to throw one deep there. A little bit surprising at this point in the game with the lead, but looks like that's what they had in mind.
Going back to that thing about boring football, Rick. Shotgun and 4 wide. Back into the belly of Carter, and Carter shrugs off one, and help arrives for Cornell as he moves his way to the 15-yard line. Mikey Keys, along with 52, Phil Barker on the tackle for Cornell, and Cornell's going to burn timeout number 1 here. And so are we. We're going to step away. 21-13, Bishop Canevin has the lead over Cornell. It's a Friday night in the Steel City. Come back with us on KDKA+.
This awesome gift is from my grandma. I use free pay policy from GBU Life. What does it do? It accumulates cash value, helps protect my future insurability, and it may even earn dividends. What's so great about that? My policy will grow with me. Plus, I get access to the GBU Life Youth Leaders Program, scholarships, and more. Oh. You might be interested in a GBU Life annuity. You're probably thinking about retiring soon, right, Mrs. Jones?
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur, a dreamer with a passion for success? With Koza Law Group, your journey starts now. Whether you're dreaming of a small startup or envisioning a global empire, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Starting a business shouldn't be scary. It's about embracing the spirit of innovation, taking calculated risks, and believing in your potential to make a difference. We are more than just legal advisors. We are redefining legal services. Contact us today to experience the Koza Law difference.
This Saturday, tune in to KDKA Plus for D3 college football as the Allegheny Gators face off against the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. This Saturday at 2 p.m. only on KDKA Plus.
You can now get more local news on KDKA Plus. More breaking news.
Residents are being asked to stay outside of their house.
More community stories. More weather.
A couple of funnel clouds were spotted.
Weekdays at 12:30 on KDKA Plus.
Coraopolis, Pennsylvania, the site of our Steel City High School football showcase. 4:50 to play. Olszewski on a 3rd down and long. Going to launch it down the field. It's going to be intercepted, picked off Johnson. Cornell's going to have the football at the 50. The sophomore is having a coming out party tonight.
That was another great catch by a defensive back. But I understand the play call. 3rd and long in your own territory. You throw one deep. If they happen to pick it off like they did, that's a good punt is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
you were talking about that a little bit earlier. But with the way that Canevin has done things, you take what you can get as far as take the turnover and take the ball at the 50-yard line.
No question about it.
Johnson's 2nd interception of the half. And now Cornell trying to play for the equalizer. Down 8, 21-13 here in the 4th. 4:43 to go. C.J. Jackson operating at quarterback. The senior slings it out into the flat far side. It's caught. 1st down and more as Larry Lee makes the reception, and he's knocked out of bounds around the sticks.
Good 1st down play. Good play call there. Avoid the pressure. Get the ball out quick. Get the ball in the hands of somebody that can move it down the field, and that's exactly what they did.
First down at 10 for the Raiders. Rain starts to fall here at Coraopolis, and it bobbles around the snap, and Jackson's dumped right on cue as the precipitation starts to fall. Ball gets slick. Umbrellas start to pop out here at Frank Lettieri Stadium, and this is going to set Cornell back. It's going to be 2nd down and 19.
Yeah, that's a big loss there. But, of course, we saw that happen even before it started raining. Yeah. So that's been happening on both sides.
Second down, 15. Jackson going to throw it over the middle of the field, in and out of the hands. Lee had it. Cross on the coverage.
Yeah, good route, good throw. Just couldn't pull it in.
So close.
Now, the moisture might have had a little bit to do with that one, Matt.
Yeah. Thought the rain might hold off until later in the evening, once we were already off the air, but you never know in these West Hills of Pittsburgh. 3rd and 15 from the 49. Back to pass. Jackson with some pressure, evades it, moves to his left, and now going to take off and run with it, and gets pulled down from behind. It's 4th down. The clock will continue ticking.
They almost have to think about going for it here because it's going to take a defensive stop no matter where Bishop Canevin gets the ball, whether they get it deep in their own territory or get it at midfield. You still have to stop them to get the ball back. So they may want to take a shot, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Cornell, 4th and pretty long.
I mean, yeah, this is where you try to get an interference call. You try to get something that's going to continue this drive, and I think Cornell wants to. This is a tough timeout to take, though. Rick, you don't want to burn this one, but they want to talk it over on 4th down and long. Time now for our Koza Law Group lineman of the game. And it is for Cornell, 52 in blue, Phil Barker, our Koza lineman of the game.
Good for him.
Congratulations to him. Something we've been doing all year, Rick, is giving some of the linemen some love. They don't get a lot of love.
No, they don't, and they're the ones that pave the way. You can't go anywhere without them. No question about it.
Thanks to Koza Law Group for giving us our lineman of the game. Rocco Koza, huge fan of high school football and a sponsor of our Steel City High School Football Showcase. Out of the timeout. Ball's at the 47-yard line of Bishop Canevin, and they need just inside the 30 for a 1st down. And Canevin jumps, and it will be 5 free yards, courtesy of Bishop Canevin.
Well, that may result in a play call change. I don't know what they had in mind there. But now it's a little bit more in range.
Yeah, 4th down and 12 now.
And actually what that brings into play, Matt, is a pass interference penalty would now be a 1st down.
That's a great point, Rick. Jackson, long snap count, gets the snap, back to pass, steps into the pocket, slant route, caught for the 1st down. 1st down, Raiders. Cornell hooks up with the sophomore Khalil Johnson, and it is a Raider 1st down.
That was a great call and great execution of the play by both the quarterback and the receiver and the line, giving the quarterback time to throw the football.
How about the night that Khalil Johnson is having right now? 2 interceptions this half. He's running the ball. He's catching the ball. He's doing it all, and he's just a sophomore.
He's doing it all.
1st down and 10. This game not over. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Cornell still has life. Jackson back to pass. Throwing here near side. Caught. It's Lee. Lee trying to shrug off his would-be tackler, and it becomes the tackler as Sean Marshall brings him down. Nice open field tackle there, and it's no gain.
It almost looked like
2nd down. They might have lost one on that one.
I thought he got out of bounds, but that may not be consequential at this point because they have the ball and they need to score.
Right. They do not rule that he is out, so we're now inside of 2 minutes to play in regulation. Second down, 9. Back to pass. Jackson throwing on the slant route. It is in and out of the hands. Incomplete. Mikey Keys had it, and the defender on the play slipped, but was able to regain it, and I think caused the drop.
Yeah,
Jaden Lindsay here.
The defender made a really good break on the football, but then he slipped at the last second and almost ended up with a completion.
I think Lindsey's eyes got big because he saw that pass coming. He wanted to jump in front of it, take it back the other way. 3rd down and 9 from the 28-yard line. Jackson. 3 receivers tight to the near side. Getting the snap, back to pass, rolling out, some pressure, will throw in traffic, incomplete. Julian Cordice was the intended receiver there for Cornell. It will bring up another 4th down, Rick.
It looked like that play was designed to run a deep route to the right side, to the side towards us. But the pressure forced the quarterback out of the pocket, so he had to try to improvise on the other side of the field.
Let's go, Raider fans. Huge 4th down. Let's get loud.
Canevin fans are loud here. They want to stop. Minute 28 to play here in the 4th. 8-point ball game. Big momentum shifter here in the Black Hills Conference tonight. Canevin trying to hand Cornell their first loss of the season. Jackson gets the snap, back to pass, has time, throws over, it's completed, and an open field tackle by Jason Cross, about 1.5 yards shy of the sticks. Turnover on downs. Bishop Canevin will take over on downs. At the 15-yard line, 1st down, Canevin. And the Crusaders will have the football.
That was a big-time play by their main player. He obviously knew where he was at on the field and knew he had to defend that line to gain, and he did a really good job of that because that was a well-executed play again. It was very similar to the last 4th down play that they ran where they made the sticks. But that time, the free safety knew where he was at and knew where the play he had to make.
The graphic on your screen not correct in terms of Cornell only has 1 timeout remaining. Crusaders still have all 3 in their pocket, but I don't think they have any intention on using them. As Olszewski will go down and start the clock, that will have Cornell will take a timeout. That'll be their final.
That's Cornell's final timeout of the game. Next Friday,
Cornell takes their final timeout, 1:13 to go. But you know what, Rick? I think one of these things to think about in this game is Cornell, they're going to lose their first game of the regular season, but look how close they lost this game 63-0 last year. They have closed the gap considerably in that they should be in the contention for what is the postseason of the WPIL. We see what Fort Cherry has to offer in Matt C. Cornell has another big game next week against the Rangers. So, I mean, this is one of those things where, you know, you don't come out with victory, but you realize how close you are with the cream of the crop that you know was at the top in Bishop Canevin.
Yeah, there's no question about it, and I'm sure they have to have a good feeling in that regard. I mean, you never feel really good after a loss, but you can take solace in the fact that, as you said, you were toe-to-toe with the top team, with at least what appears to be the top team. But now you gotta adjust, and you got to get ready for next week, one game at a time.
Feels like also one of those games that, I don't know, from a coaching standpoint, I would feel like both sides coaching-wise, you feel like you left something out there. There are so many penalties in this game, impromptu turnovers that killed drives, those types of turnovers on down, those types of things. You feel like if you could, you know, tighten up the fundamentals, you could play a better game, and I think both coaches probably feel that way.
Right, and it's frustrating when that happens, but it's certainly not demoralizing. It's not as though they came out and just were never in the ball game. They had as much a chance to win this game as Bishop Canevin did, so they know they have something to work with, no doubt about it.
Bishop Canevin comes to Frank-Letary Stadium tonight, and they hand the Cornell Raiders their first loss of the season, 21-13, an 8-point victory for Bishop Canevin. Congrats to the Crusaders, who improved to 5-1, and Cornell drops to 6-1. Let's go down to Hannah Mears, who has our player of the game.
Jason Cross, a win for your team, 2 touchdowns for you tonight. How's that connection between you and Cole been building this season?
It's real good. Every summer we work. You know, that's been my boy ever since he came in as a freshman. I was at quarterback, giving him the ropes, so now he can step up, and we just, like, the chemistry it's already been there.
You said you were at quarterback. How do you enjoy being on the receiving side of things this year?
It's fun. It's fun just making plays for my team, you know, just communicating with each other. We all want to make plays. We got so many weapons, so it's fun. It's fun for us. Defensively,
you guys had a huge stop right at the end of this game. How important was that defensive stop for your momentum of your team moving forward?
Super important, super important. You know, it's a good game. It was a close game, but all we teach our kids is heads up, heads up. No matter the outcome, no matter what happened, heads up. We play together and we make big plays.
Hey, where's the victory shades? I don't see them out here yet.
I don't got them yet, but, you know, we'll get there.
We'll have them on tonight. Congratulations, Jason. Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Matt.
Oh, thanks, Hannah. You know, hey, sometimes you get cut off in traffic, and sometimes you get cut off in the broadcast world. It's what it is. But we're going to check in on Hannah here in a moment. I tell you what, Jason Cross, I like how he was talking coach speak. We teach our kids. He's one of the kids, but he's teaching the kids. You got to love that.
He's obviously the senior spokesman.
And Hannah Mears has head coach of the Crusaders down with her. We'll go down to Rich.
Coach, you told me this was going to be a chess match between you and Coach Dawson. How did you get that final check?
Hey, man, you know, with all due respect to Coach Dawson, man, he's one of my mentors. When I came in here a couple years ago as a young guy from middle school football, Dawson reached out, and he's been kind of leading me, you know, along my coaching path, man. So, you know, big shout out to them. Big shout out to Cornell. This is a game. And like you said, man, he's the guy that puts him over the top. And today, you know, fortunately, we came out on top.
Absolutely, Coach. You were so hyped up on the sidelines right before that big defensive stop. The crowd was going wild. How important is it for you as a coach to make sure that everyone's involved in making that play happen?
As the head man, you know, the team's going to feed off your energy, good or bad. So I got to do a better job, and when things are going bad, not to show the bad side. But today I was able to show the good side and get everybody pumped up, man. And, I love our kids, how they fought 2 straight weeks. This is like playoff football right here. You can't get no better, you know, practice for playoff football than these last 2 weeks when they had. Kids stepped up. Kids stayed together. We stayed together as a team, man. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the BC community. This was a big one for us.
How did your team work through those penalties?
Honestly, we're used to it, unfortunately. You know, every week is something else, but, you know, we can't let that discourage us. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much more, but, you know, unfortunately, you know, we're kind of used to it. I love the way that they persevered, you know, and came through on top today. It's a great momentum booster. We got homecoming next week. I can't wait, you know, to do the festivities with the kids. It's going to be a great week. It's a good game. I'm just so happy for the BC community right now.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Matt, back to you.
Thanks so much, Hannah. And I got to find a way to get one of those shirts. Coach was handling.
I like that shirt. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the highlights from tonight's game. It was a barn burner. It started out with Mikey Keys getting the touchdown catch. Cornell in a big way setting the tone in that touchdown with that touchdown catch and throw by C.J. Jackson. Then Cole Olszewski said, I can do this pretty good too. Fires in a fastball in to Cross, and if it sounds nice, why not do it twice? There's Cross, second touchdown of the ball game. Then a big interception for Cornell in that moment, getting an INT to seal the deal in the first half and keep it just a 1-score ball game. But Bishop Canevin would have more in the second half and cruise out here now to a 21-13 win. But Cornell battled in this game, no question. This was a great single-A football game, right?
Very entertaining ball game. Both teams made plays. Both teams executed their offense very well. And both teams played aggressive defense. You can't ask for much more than that. And, you know, unfortunately, in any ball game, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. It's just the way it is, although every now and then there's a tie. But with the overtime, you don't have that as often as you used to. But both teams can take a lot of positives out of this football game.
Welcome back up here into the broadcast booth again alongside Rick Mancini, Matt Fargo. Rick, thanks for jumping on and coming on and pinch hitting for us this week. We appreciate this. Just a wealth of WPIL football knowledge, and I really appreciate you coming in and showing your wealth and knowledge with the viewers tonight.
Well, thank you, Matt. And even though I haven't had a chance to work with you yet this year, I can tell you not only are you as good as ever, you're better than ever.
Oh, my goodness.
And you make it easy.
Man, you guys are going to dry the well up here with all these things. Let's take a look at the schedule ahead for Bishop Canevin coming up the rest of the season. Week 7, they got Chartiers Houston at home for homecoming, as Coach mentioned. Then the Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers will host the Crusaders, and that is a game that has been flexed out, as we alluded to in our halftime show, that we're now doing Moon in Upper St. Clair that week, but Canevin will play Olsh at Moon Tiger Stadium, ironically enough. And then Carlington will be at home for Bishop Canevin and the Cougars. And for Cornell, I mentioned their next matchup doesn't get any easier. They got to take on Matt Sig and the Fort Cherry Rangers. I mentioned Matt's 7 touchdowns last week and his plethora of Division I offers. Then at Chartiers Houston, and then rounding out a big rivalry game, the 5-minute rivalry, as Cornell hosts Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, which has been Olsh has been reeling on injuries. I think they're on their 3rd or 4th quarterback at this point this year. But Cornell, it doesn't get much easier. They have a team that's at the bottom of the conference standings in Chartiers Houston in there, and Olsh Cornell is always going to be a game.
No question about it. But what Cornell has to do is keep getting better. They were hurt by penalties tonight. Both teams were, actually. But those are things you can work on. Those are things you can correct. But one thing I saw out of both of these teams is aggressive play and making plays. And as long as you can do that, you have a chance to win any ball game.
Yeah, stick around. We got more high school football for you on Friday night. Next Friday, it is a big one. It's 5A Penn Hills and 6A Pittsburgh Central Catholic. They battle next Friday night at West Mifflin High School. We'll have all the action for you right here on KDKA Plus at 7 o'clock. And want to give a shout-out tonight to Cornell graduate Alfonso Fargo, better known as Pops. Happy birthday. Shout out to Dad. It's not his birthday, but we're shouting him out one way or the other. Shout out to him. And we're going to shout out to all of you watching here across the WPIL. Shout out for you watching tonight. 21-13, the final score. Bishop Canevin takes down Cornell. Thanks to Rick Mancini. Thanks to Jamie Usual up here in the booth. And thanks to you for watching at home. This has been a presentation of high school football produced by JRM Video Productions. And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Steel City High School Football Showcase Game of the Week on KDKA+. Good night, everybody, from Coriopolis.